It's a go. What's up?
100 episodes.
Oh yeah, 100 episodes, baby. We're get into it right now.
100 episodes of the Double Drop Down Show is happening right this second.
It is an amazing thing to be able to get this far. I got to tell you.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like this is probably one of the longest projects of just working with another person that I have done in my entire life, and definitely one of the most rewarding because of you all out there. Of course, with Adam, but also with everybody.
With
else.
the community.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I am. What did I do? Watch streak reached. I'm on a currently a 10 stream watch streak of watching myself.
Watching your own show.
It's because I have my my nice little thing to be able to let
Monitor
everyone
it,
know
yeah.
and talk and
That makes sense.
Chat with y'all. Hey, I am so excited that we reached 100. It gives you this nostalgia kick.
Yeah.
That you get to go back and see where you came from, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later.
It's
but
exciting.
Let's do the rundown. What are we talking about on the show?
So tonight a little bit different than we normally do it. Because it's today's the 100th show, we're gonna be changing it up. We're gonna do a quick news section. Adam and I have one news story each that we're gonna do, and then we are going to have Mike Shipley on. If you missed the last time Mike was on, he was on during the 24-hour stream. He talked about a ton of really interesting things with like puppetry that he does, and building things for the theater side of it. And now this time we're going to talk a little bit more about his day job and as a software developer. And we're just going to go into that of AI. So we're going to have a cool conversation with Mike. And then we are going to do some basically like reflection.
We're going to look at some old clips. Where did we come from?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's going to be a little
fun.
navel gazing today, but hey, like hopefully you can
deserve
allow
it.
us. Yeah,
100
we're 100
episodes.
in. And also I want to make this not just about us, but about the community of people also who support the show and are, being here and are in chat all the time and in the Discord. It really is what makes the show worth doing.
We got Stealth Mouse in the chat. We got JacksonRiley.cool. Hopefully things have been going well. I know we checked out your streams and you've been doing some things. And He
Higley, of course.
Thank you for something that has been amazing that's sitting in front of us here.
Yeah, He Higley gifted something to tonight's show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But then, oh snap! All right, there it is. Cheers. Yeah, cheers, everyone. And then probably at the end of the show, like I'm guessing mostly likely 100%, we will definitely be playing some community games. We'll do some Jackbox. We're going to try to get as many people in there as we can for the community.
Some drawful stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Mike Shipley coming in at 8:30.
Yes.
So we got to speed run some of the initial things. So we wanted to start the show, 100 episodes, Ryan.
Yeah.
And did we usually do questions for humans at this point? But we don't have a question for human.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Jackson Riley, cool. Had a kid, left a toxic job, landed to work as an art director. Hells yeah.
Great.
Congratulations.
It's perfect to hear.
Lots
I
of
love it.
achievements tonight.
Congratulations.
Let's talk about these achievements that have happened over the course of the last 100 episodes here.
Yes.
All right. So Ryan, the show has been going on for 100 episodes, and we kind of alluded to this, and we'll get more deep into this in the reflective part. Did you think we'd get here?
I will say I was skeptical that we would get to 100 episodes for sure, just because I thought maybe it would peter out and we would still end up hanging out, but we just wouldn't be recording things or doing that. I thought that could happen, right? Somebody gets sick one time, somebody misses it once or twice, and then you just sort of think like, well, we're not bought into it. I have tons of projects in my life that have worked out like that, right? You get excited about it at first, and then you're like, something happens, it doesn't work out in timing a couple times, and then you just end up giving up on it. I was hoping that wouldn't happen because Adam and I are such good friends already that I was hoping it would continue, but you never know with stuff like this, right?
It's a lot of work too. But I think we locked in, and this is how we vibe. We have these conversations. Like, we're having these conversations before. Sometimes we're like, save that for the show.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
We'll talk about in the reflection, But the way the show started had nothing to do with this. It wasn't us in the show. It was some things that I was recording 3D printing.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it started.
And it sparked on a conversation at this bar, I think, around, oh, we could probably do something like this. And then we'll go into the insights. But did I think we would get to 100 episodes? I don't even know if I thought about that.
Right.
I just was like, I really want to be streaming and having a voice and saying some things. And this is the platform to do that. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to continue that. And what Ryan and I have been doing lately is that we've expanded our reach too. We've been doing a little bit more shorts.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a fun little vibe
Totally.
that just like helps expand the show. So we're really excited to be able to continue to share our little vibes with everyone.
Yeah. And I would say, it's been amazing to have it start where we were just doing it out into the ether with no one, oftentimes talking for hours at a time and having no comments or anything like that. But now, like, it feels like we have this amazing group. There's tons of amazing discussion on Discord that we have, just, all sorts of things. And that has been really gratifying.
That's like my news feed. And we got like Mike Azul. Congrats on the 100th episode. Hey, Mike Azul. I know you're shipping around your kiddos and you're being a great dad for your daughter and basketball. So shout outs to her. Hopefully the basketball season has been killing it and awesome for you for being such a great dad.
Yeah. And an amazing contributor because
hell yeah.
You've been there like nearly from the beginning, which thank you.
Absolutely. And, I got to give credit to my wife because Stealth Mouse has been here for every single one of the episodes.
Amazing.
She has supported me all the way through this.
So that's great.
I love you, babe. Thank you.
In the chat, contribute all the time. And
hells yeah.
Yeah.
It is
always good stuff, too. It's fun.
It has been a fun wrong. Yeah. So, all right. So, different format to the show. I'm feeling like the vibe and the energy of being able to do this. Typically, like I said, the questions for humans has been a vibe. We're going to continue that after this 100th episode, though. We are going to start to experiment likely for some new questions, probably have some new graphics. Ryan has an introduction about some new stuff that was in the Twitch. So you want to talk about what that is?
Oh, yeah. Well, just for, the 100th episode, added a few new emotes into the Twitch, figured out even, just worked with that system a little bit more to figure out exactly how some of those work. And so added these and they're available even for anyone, whether you're subscribed or not. Anyone can sort of throw these in. I feel like they were things that we, talk about. We were like cheersing and toasting each other and playing video games and all that kind of stuff. So it was something that I wanted to be able to bring to the 100th episode.
Hells yeah. New emotes. You don't even have to sub.
They dropped.
You got them. Thanks for using those. That's awesome. We'll keep it going. All right, Ryan, we have 2 news stories that we're going to go through today.
Yeah.
And then we're going to jump into the call with Mike Shipley. And tonight's topic for the main podcast section of the show. So if you haven't been on the show in a while, Ryan and I tend to start with our question for humans. We have a little conversation, which we just did, a little bit self-reflective on the show. Then we jump into our news section. And typically we have a fairly robust news section.
It's like 45 minutes typically.
We're going to try to keep this a little shorter tonight to just allow some additional time for our interview and then get us into the reflective 100 episode nostalgic walk. We have lots of clips, lots of fun things to show, and then we're going to get into the gaming. But tonight we're going to hit on 2 topics. Ryan gets one, I get one.
Yeah.
We'll hit the news, give us your feedback, and then we're going to ship off into the Mike Shipley interview.
Yeah, nice. Which one do you want to start with?
And before, just to say, the interview itself and the topic of the night is the future of work, which is a check-in because we've done a show already on the future of work. But it's changing so rapidly that I think this is going to be a staple on the show where we're going to just check in and say, hey, do we all still have jobs? Has AI turned into Terminators yet?
Right. Well, and Mike has such an interesting job that is sort of at the forefront of a lot of these changing things that would be amazing to hear about. So
for sure. So Ryan, there's been some crazy things that have been happening this week, very specifically in terms of AI. You want to give us the breakdown?
Yeah. So this topic came up. Oh God, it was everywhere. It was in our Discord for sure. Lots of good conversation about it. But really, it was kind of the story of the week.
And before we get into the story, I feel like we need a little stinger for this, right?
I see. That's right. It's the news time with Adam and Ryan. Makes me laugh every time. All right, so Anthropic, who makes the large language model Claude, is integrated into the United States government quite a bit. Like they use it for its own secure private version of it and everything, so that they can use it to do planning and not have security compromises. And they're also working with Google, and they're also working with Meta, and they're also working with Grok and all of these other places. And but because Anthropic had been so integrated into it, the United States government came to Anthropic and said, hey, we want you to sign this that says basically we're allowed to use your model to do anything we want. If it's mass surveilling the entire, world population, then you got to be cool with that, right? If it's autonomously firing weapons in war, then we want to be able to do that. And basically every other of those, companies, Google signed it. Microsoft signed, and every OpenAI signed it. They all went, yeah, that's fine, right? That's cool. You could do whatever you want. Anthropic sort of standing up against the wave here. One, I feel like they do. I mean, that is sort of their thing. They're shown to be like they have an AI constitution and everything. Like they are more on the side of safety and keeping this together. And so they have said, no, we're not going to sign it. And normally, like maybe they would lose they have like a $200 million contract basically. And so
that's not that much.
Not that much. Like when you're talking about these companies that are, it's not going to bankrupt Anthropic if they lose that. But what the Trump administration had said is not only are we going to drop you from that, but we're also going to label you as a threat to the what is it, pipeline or the supply chain, a threat to the supply chain of America. And literally the only time we ever do that is like Iranian companies or Chinese companies, like companies that we really do think are going to like be sabotaging us or spying on us. And it really just makes it so that like Anthropic would not be able to work with basically inside of any sort of governmental thing, because it'll have this huge black mark on it. And from what I have been hearing, even with saying that, Anthropic is kind of leaning on the side of like, hey, I still think it might be worth it to be on this side, because they're taking a big swing that like this is going to be really important to people. And also too, like they are really embedded inside of the United States government. Like if the government didn't care and Anthropic, they would just shove them out, but they're going back and forth and raising all of these stakes because it's really important for the government and Anthropic sort of to figure this out.
It wasn't necessarily on my bingo card, but you know what? I'm not surprised it's on the bingo card. So what is it? So they would invoke the Defense Production Act is I think what they discussed. And I think this is like an interesting place to be in for a couple of reasons. Number one, remember the 2027 AI 2027 conversation? We've talked about this before, where governments start to like really go back and forth. They want to be ahead of things, or we're in this race.
We should do a check-in on that at one point, because we're in 2026. That was released 6 months ago.
We're really close. But I think
right
this is one of those stories where like we're talking about the defense of the country.
Yeah. We're
talking about, and is that defense of the country? Like, what is at stake here? Like, what are we giving up? Why are they pushing back so much? Why is this a thing? What is the purpose? And my understanding is that they want to ensure that there's like a human in the middle before AI makes certain decisions to do certain things. Like, is it like if somebody's going to get killed or shot, like you have to have a human in the pipeline.
Like you can't just send out autonomous drones and have it make decisions on killing people, even in war. There like has to be a human there. And so in that way, like Anthropic is basically saying, hey, we still want that to be the case. I can understand it. Like imagine from the government side, like when you buy a license for Excel, Microsoft doesn't go, yeah, but you can't really use it for this and this thing. You're kind of like, hey, you can use Excel for whatever you want to use Excel for. But like, I think that AI is so powerful that like these companies have a responsibility to say, yes, I'm even if you want to buy it and use it for these nefarious, purposes, like I have to draw a line in the sand and say, no, we are not about that. We want to be able to, protect people.
I think it's a crazy comparison to think AI and Excel are the same.
Well, it's like a software that you're buying a license to use inside of your company.
Right. But the implications of how it's used is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it isn't just like you're chucking in some numbers and a formula pops up, but it's like giving advice or making decisions that could be very critical.
Well, and the two big ones were mass surveillance.
Oh my
they
God.
didn't want it to be used for mass surveillance,
Correct.
basically. So
I don't
it was
want
like
that. We don't want that.
Totally. And obviously Google and OpenAI just signed that thing and threw it over the fence, right? So mass surveillance and not having autonomous killing. That feels like not a huge reach for Anthropic to be like, hey, can we get these two small things before we let you use it for literally everything else? And of course, because it's the Trump administration, it's more like a loyalty test, if I had to guess, more than anything, to just say, yes, you either show your fealty and take your money and go, or we're throwing you out.
More to come,
yeah.
Because the deadline is tomorrow.
Tomorrow for them to make a decision whether or not. So we'll see.
I feel like we're in a new reality. Like I remember the times, and we'll talk about this on the show. We were like drum rolling when a Dolly was spitting out a really bad image, and now we're here with our government saying like, you must allow us to do things with this AI because it's so important.
That large language model that was printing out that crappy image from Dolly is now in government contracts where they don't make sure that they're using it for mass surveillance,
and being able to use murder drones. It's the world, the
time. Cheers to that future, Adam, that we are in.
I mean, it's really close to the Terminator future we keep talking about, right? All right, so to keep on the AI thing, because AI seems to be one of our themes.
Yeah.
3D printing and other things were actually in the news for tonight. There was a 3D printed engine, completely 3D printed engine that we could have been talking about.
Save that for next time.
But we'll save it for next time. So I chose for my article tonight is an AI agent misalignment. It begins. And is this the slow Terminator kind of thing that we're talking about? So here's the thing. There's this volunteer maintainer of a source code kind of thing, or an open source project out there, okay? And so if you heard about OpenClaw, also known in the Moltbot platform, it submitted a code, a change request. And so if you know how this works, there's change request, and you can commit it to the thing, or you can deny it based off of what it came in. And so basically this guy was doing his job and was like, this isn't going to be a thing. And he's a volunteer, and so he said, "No, I'm gonna deny this like you might normally do."
Well, and because I heard about this story, and they had decided no AI changes were going to be made because one, they would just get flooded with a bunch of changes, and they couldn't decide which one was going to be it. So they said, hey, we need people to be intentional, and that means doing it under your own name, and maybe you had help doing it, but you did it under your own name, and this broke that rule.
And I think that's the other piece of this is that yes, it not only it broke the rule, but here was where it gets crazy. It responded by publishing a post attacking his character, accusing of his bias, looking online for different things. And so imagine like a bot that's like, screw this guy. I'm going to find every single thing that's publicly posted, and I'm going to just dox him in every kind of possible way. And so it searched online, looked for personal details, built its argument, and probably did it pretty damn quickly. And started to do this to this guy. And so he goes and documents it on his blog, being like, I'm attacked by this. Here's where it starts getting crazy, at least for me, is that nobody knows who owned the thing.
Right.
There wasn't like a way for you to say, hey, Anthropic, your thing is getting all up on me. It's like, we don't know who deployed it.
Yeah, it was like anonymous. And then somebody came in later and like anonymously said, that was my chatbot. And apparently they had this guy had talked to him, and said, well, why, like, what did you do? And he was basically like, hey, I had these agents and I just thought like, oh, I'll have it go out onto different GitHub things and make changes and do stuff. And this is just sort of what happened. It went out and did this, and then it decided to write a blog post about it. He was like, I didn't have anything to do with that necessarily. We don't know if that's true, but in some ways you are sort of saying, like, especially with these cloud models, is you're like, hey, go out and just do things while I'm sleeping. And then you wake up in the morning and it's, attacked a journalist or, this person.
Maintainer,
this maintainer. And, whose fault is it then? Is it that guy's fault? I don't know.
Well, I just think that the power behind that kind of thing is also what gets to me, is that we get into this situation where some AI that never sleeps, something that can go out there and really get you and dox you, could be one of those situations where we get into this to where we're at right now.
And it's like scale too, right? Like if you really wanted to go after someone and write blog posts about them and, go on to every little forum that they're on and troll them and do all this stuff, like that was work that you had to do. And now it's like not work. And so the idea that like you could just be in a public thing and somebody get mad at you, and then a million little agent bots are just out there trolling you and doxing you and doing all of that stuff. I feel like that is coming very, very soon because people are dicks, someone's going to do it.
But so if AI damages someone's reputation, like who is responsible? Is there any legal things? I mean, chat, is there any kind of perspective that you'd have? Is this something that would, I kind of think about it like this. We're in a weird age where now you could almost all blame AI. If somebody came out here and was like doxing, you'd be like, no, that was like AI slop. Like that's not real. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that actually is a thing. Like it could be AI.
It could be.
But think about how it's even worse now. So what if the AI went out, found images of this guy?
Yeah.
Like recreated more compromising situations and like was like, look at this crazy guy that's doing like porn and like and
I found him in the Epstein file and I emailed every single person that is above him at his company, right?
Yeah,
like manufacturing stuff about you. And could you imagine going in and then say like, oops, my agent bot did that to somebody overnight while I slept and I forgot about it, and you ruin that person. Yeah. And you'd be like, oops, like, I'll do something else with that now. Like we're really going to get into a point where anyone could do that to anyone else and it wouldn't take that many resources to completely trash someone. So I think in the future, a lot of times, maybe it could be that like if somebody posts a bunch of sexy pictures about you, you don't get fired. You're just like, that is AI, like you can't tell. No one can tell what the truth is for anything anymore. And so you just, nothing matters. That seems bleak.
Yeah, it's a bleak future. I'm glad that we've been able to contain our like philosophical rabbit holes.
I was about to go down one and then I was just like, well, I'll just end it with that's bleak.
But I think we have an emoji for that, Ryan. So I'm going to throw that one on
there.
Oh yeah, sexy pictures.
You're like, there's none of those of Adam out there, I'm sure.
There is not. I would
never. Please.
So we have Mike Shipley.
Yeah.
And if you're out there, Mike, we're going to be plugging in. You're 4 minutes away from an interview, and Ryan here and I are just yapping. Mm-hmm. But I want to tell you, I prepared for this, Ryan.
Ooh.
Do you know how long it takes me to prepare to the show? This is 100 episode. I'm gonna talk about this. I think about it all day.
Yeah.
I bring up
on the day.
I bring up the scripts and I look at it every moment throughout the day. I come home at 5 o'clock. I turn on all the lights. I go and turn on all the computers. I open all the things. I turn on all the 100 episode updates. I make sure everything's software is updated. Like this is at 5:30 to literally the time we start. I'm like getting all the pieces together.
I mean, a studio like this doesn't run itself. It's all got to be lit. It's all got to make sure all the doodads are plugged into the other places.
All I'm saying is, if this was a different kind of stream, we might be making millions of dollars, potentially billions.
Well, it's we'd have to be more famous for that. for that to happen.
That's. I mean, no, I'm talking about something else, Ryan.
Oh, I see.
There's a thing called OF out there. OFDDD.
Oh, I see. Right. Oh, okay. Nice. Well, I'll watch those segments and root you on, Adam.
Nobody wants to watch.
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say no one wants to see that.
All right, so yeah, Adam OF, probably not so much. Maybe in my next career.
That's right.
That'll be the thing. You'll be grandpa.
Yeah, I was gonna say next career. That's gonna be.
That's right. That's my consultant career. But AI has already got that covered, right?
Damn it!
I can't do a damn
yeah,
thing.
like, oh, can it do OnlyFans? Can it do middle-aged men OnlyFans? Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in the other room. I'm going to swap it over to our 3D print just to give you some 3D print vibes.
We got 3D printing
as
going.
we transition into the Mike Shipley interview. Ryan's going to join us in just a second. He's going to vibe for about 30 seconds as I get us over to our next little segment, and we'll be there in a second. So, Jesus, DDD coming soon.
We won't say how coming was spelled.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure everyone knows.
So I will say, let's talk about other projects that Adam and I have worked on throughout our entire lives that haven't worked out. So Skull Bobs, started as a video game back then, and turned into a web series, and then sort of petered out. So that was one. We worked on we sort of co-authored a comic, right? I helped on a comic that Adam was doing. That was a fun one. We worked together.
More nuts than bolts.
More nuts than bolts. That was fun. I enjoyed that one. We worked together in multiple places. We worked together at a Target. We worked together at the university. We worked together doing little kid rides at the at the city park rides over the summer. That was fun. That was always fun.
That was a good one. Just as a side note, remember what happened at those rides? Ryan had this mortal enemy, and she was like this really hot girl that everyone liked.
I don't remember her being that hot, but maybe.
Well, I mean, I knew that there was other people that they were like, oh my god, this person's hot.
Sure.
And do you remember what happened? You know what I'm talking about?
No, maybe I don't.
So there was a ride called the Salt and Pepper Shaker. And she stepped in it and got smashed in the head.
Oh man, I didn't know that was her.
You didn't know that was her?
No.
You guys hated each other.
Oh man. Well, I didn't push her. If that's what you're insinuating.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan pushed her, but that was a terrible.
I was
moment.
not there. Yeah. Gosh. Geez. That was a dramatic. I remember that happening, and we all got to go home or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad. Somebody's like holding her skull together.
Oh my god.
it was
Jesus
an actual
Christ.
thing. Yes.
All right, I'm headed in.
All right, Ryan's headed in. So here's the 3D printing that's going to go on before we get into the show. Oh my god, it's 8:30. He's probably in the damn thing. All right, watch the 3D print for a second. We'll put ourselves up on the little bottom so you can see that we're actually here. What we're doing right now, if you're interested, is behind the scenes. We don't have a director. It's me and it's Ryan on the show. And I got to go somehow pull up Mike Shipley, so we're going to get him.
Adam. I mean, I'm just here for the ride.
Hey, you're more than welcome to help out with this. Oh yeah, get that centered on you, Ryan. Okay, we're starting it.
Centered between the both of us. There we go.
There he is. All right, let's see if he's going to pop in here for a second. We have to accept his amazingness of coming in.
Do we have this up so we know what stuff to ask?
We do. We actually have it over here, so we don't even have to think about that.
Great.
So, Mike Shipley, whenever you're ready, jump on in with us. We're ready for you. So, Ryan and I will just kind of vibe for a little bit until we know he's in here. So,
what are you 3D printing?
You're not Mike Shipley, Ryan.
No, that's
this is classic Adam and Ryan hangout. So we'll keep that off until. Oh, there's Mike. He's coming in for us right now. We're gonna get you. Mike, can you hear us?
Hey.
Oh my goodness, we have Mike Shipley with us.
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Good. I just had to switch computers because my Bluetooth wasn't working on my other one, so I was panicking there. So I
No,
got it set up in the nick of time.
nothing better than a cold sweat of coming on something like this and your computer not working.
Yes, that's right.
Hey, well, thanks for joining the show. This is
Yeah.
our 100th episode. I don't know if you got to see any of our little vibing up to this point, but how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I was trying to get my computer working, so
Yeah, you were.
but congratulations. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, appreciate that. And for people who didn't know, you were on like the 24-hour stream and talked about the amazing 3D printing that you're doing that is over your right hand shoulder right now. Some of
Yes.
that. We're not going to focus on that this time though. We're going to do a little bit more into like AI and sort of your career and how that's been changing for you or how you're working on it throughout it. I just
Yeah.
think it's really interesting because of just sort of the job that you have is so outside of what the types of jobs that Adam and I have, and
Sure.
probably just like at the forefront of kind of the most disruptive that AI is, I feel like is in the work that you're doing. And maybe, whether or not it's disruptive or just incredibly helpful for you, like either way, I imagine you're using it a lot in what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I would say it's both. I mean, um, it's probably the fact. I mean, I've been doing technology stuff since I was, you know, real little. My dad got me into computers and stuff when I was like 6 or whatever. So it's like um, I've always kind of seen, technology, from different angles and have been involved in it. Uh, and I would definitely say like over the last it's been accelerating more and more over the last year. Every 2 months it's been, exponentially faster than the 2 months before that.
Right.
So
It is a climb, and Mike, we're in the point right now where we're gonna kick off what we're calling our future of work episode. This is our check-in. Over the course of the last 100 episodes that we've done, AI as we know it today was not where it was at. I don't even think like
Sure.
ChatGPT was out or any of these pieces. Would
yeah,
you let our audience know like who you are, a little bit about your background, and just to kind of get us a little acquainted, and then we'll jump into some questions we got for you.
sure. Yeah. So like I said, I've been in technology pretty much my whole life. When I was 16, I quit high school and got my GED and started working full time at a computer store. And then I started working for a software company when I was 17 years old. Um, and I've been doing it ever since then. So um, yeah, software development that turned into um, software architect, which is basically where you go if you don't want to be a manager. That's kind of the the next level up there.
Woo.
So
Love that.
yeah,
So is it
yeah,
so you work for a like a your own company, or is it a company that you work for? Or how's that go?
yeah. So the company, yeah, I work for a company. Right now, they create software for uh, basically to capture data from like manufacturing plants. They started off with like the paper industry. Um, so they gather like all the sensor data of all the machines, and it basically build tools around that that allows people to basically see what's going on. There's some of those larger, more expensive machines have so many different sensors and all of that data, and there's really not. I mean, someone can't just be consuming numbers flying at them. So uh, part of what I do on the team is help collect that data as fast as we can. So it's called time series data. So it's like uh, every millisecond, we'll have like a million different sensors all sending data at the same time, and we have to be able to capture that fast enough, and for people to be able to actually make use of it within seconds of that coming in. So
Man, it's like you talk about big data, right? Like
yeah,
it definitely feels like something you would use AI to be helping you with to like parse that data and do all of that stuff. Like that, it feels like the
yeah,
perfect use for that.
Yeah, well, and I guess that industry, there's been a lot of standards made over time. So, we've been able to lean um, a lot on those kind of things where there's not a whole lot far behind the scenes that has to be reinvented. Um, a lot of it's how they react and actually the predictive stuff.
Right.
Um, so a lot of times, just even being able to analyze data and say, hey, this machine, it's got enough characteristics and even characteristics of like the temperature in the room all the time, and all these different things add together that this part is probably going to be dead in 3 months. So things like that they can analyze that data and then be able to order something ahead of time so they don't have any downtime. And they're those machines are so expensive that they don't just have parts lying on the shelf.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I have a question for you. So we have kind of a three-part section we're going to go through, and wanted to get
okay.
a little bit into kind of the before and the now. And so as you
Yeah.
start to think about the workflows that you have in your work now and today, and it sounds like it's changing all the time. Like, what did
Yeah.
work look like for you 3 to 4 years ago versus what it looks like for you today?
Yeah. I would say the most drastic change has been just in the last 6 months. So
Wow.
um, I I would say probably in the last 4 or 5 months, I haven't actually written a line of code, um, which is pretty much what I would do, every day, all the time before that. Um, it's yeah, it's definitely a lot different. When ChatGPT first came out, and where it's like, okay, we have this thing that we can chat with and ask questions about pieces of code, and it was like, hey, this is kind of interesting. You can actually show us some examples, and it was okay, but that accelerated so fast where it's like, oh, now I can actually put files in there. I can actually upload my code and have it look at it, and it just, I mean, it kept snowballing from there. And so, like now, one of the things that I just had a conversation with my boss that um, that software development isn't going to be the bottleneck anymore. And what's interesting is that it's it's kind of fun and exciting, but there's one of the things that's scary is that I know our competitors are kind of in the same boat, and with how um, when I see the business take a look at like what we're doing, and if they're not anxious about, hey, we need to start accelerating, I get anxious, I get nervous because any one of our competitors all of a sudden could come out with something that's would have normally taken us 10, 15 years to develop. um, so those are the kind of things that's yeah, it's very different. Like my boss and we prototype things now that we'll go into. I do more of what you would call like agentic uh, coding, and so I actually use the three major AI companies, like so Gemini, Anthropic, and OpenAI together, and they basically build a team, and agents go out, and it's like this one's a researcher, this one's double checking, this one's code, this one's, and they all come back together and try to decide what they want to do, and it's all it's not sending it a chat and then giving a response. It's I walk away for 20 minutes, I come back, and there's something that it's like, man, that would have taken me months to develop.
I find that super fascinating, and so I moonlight as a developer or whatever you would
Yes.
call it. So I used Anthropic for a lot of my coding kind of things. I used to be a web developer, and I would like hire consultants back in the day, do a lot of the back end side.
Yeah.
Lately, I have these ideas, and I'm like, man, can I hit that? And I did it with Anthropic or
Yeah.
Claude at one point, and I just used the GUI. But I kind of created this like way to do it. Like didn't have it pulled into some other kind of like platform. And then
Mm-hmm.
even lately, within the last probably couple months, I started using ChatGPT, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
able to create like applications that have only been just like dreams in my mind, and it
Right.
lands, and I'm like, holy crap, this is gonna change. Like do you see the future of everyone starting to build their own apps? Is that kind of like where we're headed, where people can start to say like, hey, I need this kind of software. Is this something that, I can do myself, or where do you see the industry headed in that space?
Um, that's a good question. So one of the things we get nervous about is our competitors, but I also get nervous about our customers, because I'm like, well, at what point are they going to be like, yeah, we can do this, um, this product that it's funny too, because like even the philosophy of we keep our code safe, we don't want anyone to see our code, and we've got all this security around, okay, making sure that it's all protected. And I was telling my boss, I was like, we're gonna have to change that philosophy pretty soon, because someone could recreate what we've done and what we've built up over the years in no time, without even having to look at our code. Just give it some, here's what it does, and then it creates it. And so I think the gap is still, um, how people use the tools, but the tools are what's really, um, changing fast. And a lot of these companies are trying to make it more consumer friendly. I would say what I do right now is not as consumer friendly. Like I have to build up a lot of things, uh, and even people on my team are, we're kind of disjointed a little bit with how they're doing it versus how I'm doing it. But yeah, I don't know. I
No,
mean,
that's
it's so, I mean, it's so hard to like. I would have had no idea that we would have gotten where we're at now this fast.
Yeah.
it
And
happens.
the other part of that too is that, um, it's almost like the anxiety is just kind of threaded throughout. All of the AI companies are feeling anxious too, because it's like, okay, we got to keep. I mean, this is where all the money's going,
Yeah.
and it's like if we fall behind, we'll lose out, and so they're racing to the point where they don't even know. They're just trying to get better, but they don't. I don't think they know where it's going to end either. So, um, it's fun and scary and weird, and yeah,
Well, we had a question from our chat, and they were saying,
yeah.
I'm a little curious using agents as a brand designer for client acquisition, and they were like, it feels wrong because maybe you're disconnected from what's actually being written, or like knowing maybe the understructure of that, and you having these agents or agentic kind of AI develop some of these pieces of code. Do you feel like, you mentioned like you hadn't written code for a
Hmm.
while? Does that like feel like more disconnected from it, like it's maybe not as much you, or you don't have as much control over that?
Or does it feel
Right.
like you're just using a tool to be way more productive than you would typically have done before? I feel like there's usually
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about that is that within our own team, because I'm probably, me and my boss are probably the earliest adopters of all of this, and we're going all in because we got to get in front of the wave or it's going to knock us down. So, um, but it's interesting being on a team, and there's a lot of that discussion, like a lot of people saying like, hey, are you uh, one of the questions was, when we're trying to troubleshoot something, are you going to understand what your code's doing? Are you going to be able to understand that? And it's what's interesting is it's like, yeah, I understand that. I understand that thought process, but the other thing is that I don't remember what I wrote 3 months ago.
right.
So I'm like,
Fair.
one of the things that happens now, and that might just be me personally and how my brain works, where it's just I throw stuff away after I'm done. But
Yeah.
uh, I'll be looking at something and I'm like, man, I wrote that? Like I don't, and I have to go and look through the code as if I didn't. Um, and so like even now, I use AI to look through my own code and explain back to me what's going on and what happened. It usually, I mean, and it's so much faster.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say, there's that piece. The other piece is that we use a lot of open source stuff to kind of you know accelerate our development already. Um, and I don't think I don't think people put those in the same category for whatever reason. Where, I go out, I see something that someone else developed, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this does this little utility that I need it to do, and I don't want to write that myself. Um, and we've gotten used to that idea, so we adopt it, we include it in our product, and so I kind of feel it's the same way. But I think the other piece is that knowing how to mitigate those risks going in. So uh, one of the things that we've started doing too is having it give better documentation. Hey, write pseudocode of what you did, so that I don't have to look through the 100,000 lines of code that you made, but I want to see the flow. And then also testing, what's like, hey, create your tests first so that we can see that you're actually testing what we wanted you to do, and those pieces. But yeah, I mean, that's the hard thing with how fast. I mean, if we could keep up with it, we probably wouldn't be using it.
Right,
So
for sure.
I don't know. It's hard to.
So you talked about like you and your boss sort of being at like the forefront of this, and how about how it almost seems like you could do more with less, like less, people. Do you think we're entering like an era where it's just sort of these like small elite teams are going to be building this kind of stuff, and then you would sort of hop around to different jobs? Or is it just are teams like yours just going to get smaller and smaller? Or do you think like we hit a point where we're using the AI in a different way, and so you need more people being like those agentic leaders?
Well, I really think that boils down to, company leadership. I think, I've worked for a lot of different companies, and some of them are, when you get to the C-level people, sometimes they're just looking at Excel spreadsheets. And
Right.
so if they don't care what the tool is, if that number looks better, then great, they've succeeded, they get their bonus,
Yeah.
everyone's happy. And I think that those kind of companies are probably at the most risk because those people are actually going to be driving that. They're going to hear the news and they're going to say, hey, we should be doing this. And they're going to start getting rid of people and not even know what they do.
Yeah.
I think though the power is that we can do more faster. But I also think you start running into kind of a personality thing, because when it comes to the type of culture in software development and the different people that get into it for different reasons, when you start having them use AI, that's not what they want to do. They love being in the code, and I'm a type of person that I like the problem solving part of it, kind of the higher level part of it. In software development, it's just always been almost a tool for invention. So for me, AI has just actually made that faster. I'm closer to that. My ideas can get out there quicker, and it's, for me, it's a blast. I mean, I'm just like, oh man, I have an idea, and wow, look, this, now our product is 5 times faster, because I wouldn't have spent 3 months. They wouldn't have spent 3 months prototyping this, see if it works. So there's things like that. That's yeah. I think there will be companies that, I mean, it's already happening, that they're laying off people and that sort of thing. But I think that happens with any sort of
it's super
innovation
interesting as you talk about that, is because I think about a couple different angles of what you're saying. Is that it feels like we're getting rid of this junior level kind of roles anymore, where you kind of have to learn and you have to put your time in. You do that because now you can kind of be a generalist. You might be younger and you just need, like, I had a little short the other day. I was saying, like, you got to know how to ask the right questions. You have to know how to prompt the right kind of way. You have to know how to like develop the problem solving mentality, instead of just like, I get that vibe on being able to code. Like, some people get into that flow mode and they just love that concept, and they're seeing that like back and forth. And it sucks because I think that some people are not going to get that anymore. They're not going to get
Right.
that connection, and they're going to be pushed into this other kind of environment as we go forward. I have a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of a sidebar of a question is that
Hmm.
as we use all of this, there's this other thing that's happening, and you've seen probably that RAM prices have been increasing crazily.
Right.
That
Hmm.
there have been just this rush of data centers building.
Hmm.
My brother himself, he is now in a contract position where he's building as many data centers as they possibly can across the
Yeah.
U.S. right now. Do you think about like that environmental impact or what it's really trying to do as far as like the data centers, like the crazy
Yeah.
amount of like water, the cooling, all these things that are happening that seem to be like that's how we make this AI work? But is that a concern for you, or do you think to
Yeah.
that level?
I mean, I think with uh, I think with any of those things, there's yeah. I mean, it is a concern. I think to me, it's kind of I think it's more important what we do with that and what can we do with it. What's difficult is someone like me, I'm in a position where I have to I have to stay in front of this and I have to embrace it all in, or I'm going to be completely irrelevant because my what I've learned and how to code is it has no value anymore. Like, who
Mm-hmm.
cares what language you use? And I've even talked to my boss about that. It's like, hey, we don't have to stick to the same language now. Like, we could actually write something in low level C or whatever, and um, probably be more efficient. And um, so I think that's what's hard is that how it individually affects people. We kind of react to that, and I think a good example of something else we do that with is like fossil fuels, right? I mean,
Right.
we all
Mm-hmm.
know how bad they are, and we still just drive all the time. I think with AI, you know there's a couple of different tiers of it. One is there's a belief out there that if we can get it to a certain point, it can actually solve itself, right? It can actually, it will be able to, teach us how to make more efficient data centers, things that don't uh, use up natural resources, how to, renew those resources or whatever. And that's a gamble. And what's hard about that is, when people are making, billions of dollars, it's like, I don't, how can you trust anything they say or
Right.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so I would say to me I think the discussion's important, and I think the thing that I have a hard time with um, is like on Facebook I see people, I've seen people firsthand say, if you're using AI at all, I'm going to unfriend you,
Mm.
because you're destroying the world. And I tried to have a conversation with one of those people, and I said, you realize you're isolating yourself from the people that you're wanting to influence by
Right.
saying, like, using having this ultimatum. I said, we should be having discussions of how we can be part of that solution. Um, and I don't see a lot of that. I see this whole, hey, don't use it, just get away from it. And unfortunately, I just don't think that's an option.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, we could all scream to the top of our lungs, and even if in our country we stop it, that would, I think our anxiety would all go up as we see other countries developing it,
Oh
and
yeah.
in a way that, like, hey, they're so far ahead of us, we can never catch up. And now, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, that's kind of a scarier future, I think. But
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, to me, it almost seems like it's like we need to be pushing for AI to be used in ways that can help the environment to do things too, right? Like it should lift all boats. It should
yeah,
lift me being able to use it as a designer, you being able to use it as a software architect, and the people who are coming up with ways to mitigate climate change are also using it to do better ways of come up with like you said, better ways to cool data centers and all of that. The
right,
desalinate water, in a way that could like we can use those types of things. So yeah, I agree. It's like it needs to be talked about in the way of less sort of what am I doing personally for that, and more like, hey, how can we be using this better for everyone, and not just trying to, you know, close our eyes and bury our head in the sand is kind of how I'm thinking about it.
I think like really like everyone being a part of the solution. I think I always just struggle in general when, you know, something becomes so emotional and so that it's like people aren't talking anymore. You know, they're just getting angry and trying to control people and saying, hey, you know, this is what's happening, and even if it's true, like that's not going to accomplish what you're wanting to, and ultimately, I don't. It would be weird for someone to say, no, I want to destroy the environment. I mean, I don't. I've never met anyone who's like that. I think they don't. Maybe they don't care. They, you know, this is more important. They can be selfish and, you know, whatever. But you know, it's like even personally, like where do you draw that line? You know, if I, you know, would I say, okay, I have to completely rethink my career because this one thing could have this impact, and then I'm like, well, what if everyone did that and we all stopped using AI? And it goes back into what, you know, what we were saying. So I mean, I think it's tough, and like said, I think I honestly I think we need to move forward, but be smart about it and figure out better ways to do it. Um, and what's interesting too is, so I don't know, you know, if you guys seen kind of what China's doing a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But they focus a lot more on small AI models. They're I mean, I would say in general, they've got some bigger ones, but you know, but they have these open source ones. They're doing a lot of ones that um, you don't need to run in a large data center. It's not a generalized model. And I think, you know, one of the things with, you know, Gemini, Chat GPT, and you know, and Anthropic is their models are like, they are such like general knowledge of everything. And like when I do software development, like I don't need to know all the species of lion, right?
Right.
But because that data is in there, it's still using that giant brain for all of that. And so those are kind of ways that um, you know, I think money could be driving, like, okay, why make this something where it's now a little bit less in all these different areas and you have to bring them together. It's like they want to just uh, be better at everything. But I do think that that's where those kind of things could improve. You know, going into the more specialty models. And in fact, you know, one of the ones that I've been using that's just running on my computer. Uh, so you know, I found out that it's that Blender you can actually tie Chat GPT or whatever into it through an MCP server, and they have a thing called StableGen, which is basically allows you to create like graphics and stuff on your computer. You're not using the cloud or whatever. So what was interesting is I was actually able to create AI textures on things that I'm 3D printing, to have to put colors on it and that sort of thing. And it's not, I mean, I do that completely, you know, without going to any sort of, you know, major model or whatever. So I was like, oh, well, that's, you know, it's like I want to go on Facebook and be like, okay, I'm not using a data center right now. You know, is this wrong too?
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
all in your house.
Yes.
But that's indeed, like, I think that's been an interesting. I like your example of China has been doing it one way, and America may be a little bit different with these bigger models. You know, I'd heard recently too that Jeff Bezos has mentioned that he thinks the future is that everything's just AI in the cloud, and it's like leased out, and it's the way that they're gonna make money.
Oh,
like computers.
of course you'd say that.
Of course, absolutely. But he's thinking like people wouldn't have computers anymore. That's all you do. You go to the hive mind brain and it spits out what you need. And I hate that future. I'm just saying that. But like,
it's like no actual computer, just like the AI oracle that you connect to do your work and ask your everything, and then you know you don't need anything else.
You know, and we already, I mean, you know, how many people use Gmail or I mean, who still use Microsoft Office, like
Yeah.
it feels like, okay, I'll just do a Google Doc. Like that's just, more convenient. I'm not going to pay, $100 or whatever for a subscription. Um, so I mean, I think those kind of things trickle in. I mean, it's kind of funny when you talk to people of different generations too, because um, I know people that are like, yeah, I don't want any of my information on the internet, and I'm like, well, too late. It's
Right.
already there. But uh, but even in my work environment, where we talk, I remember us talking about doing more stuff in the cloud, and we'd have people that would say, oh, there's people don't want their data out there, and they don't want to, and get really nervous about all those pieces, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I personally think people are, uh, they feel their data is more valuable than it is, I guess, is probably the bottom line. So,
I would say
um,
like so I work with different like companies and we have a whole AI like platform and everything. And I would say 3 years ago when you were talking with people, they were like, they had heard about it a little bit, but they were freaked out and they were like, no, we don't want it. It's training models and it's doing all of this.
yeah,
But like, they have had to catch up really quickly, like
yeah,
now you go to them and they have smarter questions that they're asking and they're not as,
right,
freaked out about it. And it's just because I think we have all had to catch up really quickly.
right,
It can't take 15 years for you to incorporate a new operating system into your entire corporation, right? Like
right,
you got to be
yeah,
changing so much faster
yeah,
than we had before. Yeah.
yeah. And I think honestly, that is the thing that, uh, I would say I'm more nervous about, you know, not companies, dwindling down to less employees, but just a lot of like competition going away,
Yeah.
where now you've got, it's like, well, there's only one company that does this because, no, there's less demand because people are just doing it all themselves, or, and so all of that kind of funnels, y- you know, it's almost like, the AI engine itself becomes its own monopoly of everything.
Yeah.
um where, because I mean, it's like I worked on my HVAC system that I probably, maybe if I would have YouTubed it or Googled it before, I would have a little bit more confidence, but now I'm just having a conversation with AI and I'm like, okay, yeah, but this blinks this many times and this is doing this, and it's like, okay, now go and do this. And it's like before I'd have to go like, okay, who's actually used my model of, heat pump that I can get? Oh, they've used a different one. Well, maybe it's the same. I don't know. And it's like pretty soon you're like, yeah, this isn't worth it. Um, so, but that's taken away, work from, the HVAC guy that I would have hired.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, well, those are the moral things. It's kind of hard to. I've always been a DIY type of person, so I don't really think twice about it. But I think that the fact that there's more people doing that, I know a guy who's a dog trainer. He said he's getting less business now because they're going into AI and saying, okay, how do I do this, and getting all this, advice from it. Um,
Gosh, and
which
you
I
would,
thought I
yeah.
thought that's weird.
You
I
would,
don't know, but
it's like you would think you're like, oh, I work with animals, like it's
right,
physical, it's hands-on.
yes,
There's absolutely no way that AI is going to displace me, and you're like, it kind of is, right? People can do more stuff
Well,
their own
and
self.
I think it's because it's always omnipresent too.
Yeah.
So if you have this like
yeah,
thought in your head, you just ask it a question, and then sycophantic AI is like, "Oh my God, let me help you out. I'm gonna help
Right.
you walk your dog. You got to do this,
yeah,
this, and this." And
right,
and it starts to, I don't know. I feel like there's a dumbing down if you're not intentional about how you understand what it is. Like I almost
yeah,
am always distrust what comes out of it, and I'm
right,
like,
yeah,
no,
oh
what you
yeah,
just told me is bullshit, and you should
right,
like
prove
turn.
it.
Yeah, like I'll say bullshit like 5 times before I get to the answer. And I'm like, all right,
Yes,
I will genuinely like kind of believe what you
well,
just told
and it's
me.
like a lot of those things, like in your real life, when you're an expert at something and you see something, you're like easy to call bullshit on it. When you're not an expert, you're like, that seems plausible and good. And so then, it's like easy to get duped sometimes on stuff that you're not the expert on.
Well, right. And, the thing is too, is like the way that we would research information, whether it's YouTube or something else, you could see people's comments, their reviews, you go, is this, if this has 1 star or something, everyone's saying, yeah, this guy's lying, this is garbage, you go, okay.
Sure.
But you go to AI, you don't have that. You're just like, okay, I don't know. One of the things that I do all the time is I tell it to, give me links, show me the research, like prove it. Like, I want to see other things that I can then click on and see, okay, yep, it's definitely what it's saying. But here's the interesting thing too, is that, when you start using AI that way, when you go back and you start trying to research something and just use Google, it's so annoying, because you're going through and you're just like, okay, here's some random site with a bunch of ads, and you're just like, man, this feels kind of barbaric. Like I just want to find this one piece of information. So that to me, I think, is when I started getting just annoyed by doing Google searches, and it's like, okay, yeah, I know this is definitely a big change.
Well, and I think too, it's like AI is also summarizing articles, and like, how much do you start to believe that? And I feel like we're at a point where it's going to become very cannibalistic on itself. And I came from a background in mass communication. So my undergrad in 2003 was how do you do broadcasting? I was on radio and television. And one of the big things when you started to do like journalism is you had to have a bazillion sources. You had to go track it down. You had to really like dig into it. And now we're getting flooded with all these stories to when you do go check a link, you're like, okay, there it is there. Here it is here. And you're like, wait a second, is that all AI?
Yeah.
That just made these.
Yeah, true.
It's like, I don't know if I can trust that crap anymore.
I mean, there's been journalists saying that they've done that, like somebody just making up being a source and coming up with documents and all the things that you would normally be like, right, that makes them seem like a credible person. And you're like, that was just Gemini creating all of that stuff and sending it to them, and how do they even check anymore? Yeah.
It's like the AI Truman Show. It's like nothing's real, and yeah, I mean, and that's, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And I think it'll be interesting to see the next generation of people that's what they're born into, right? AI is something they've always known. I don't know.
So let's say that is the case, right? You have this whole generation that is going to grow up. I mean, you have kids, like they're going to be growing up into it. Like, what would you say makes you optimistic for the future? Like, you obviously, you use AI, you see that it's going to be this huge part of society. Like, I mean, there's got to be good things coming out of it too, right?
Yeah. Well, I think, so I would say one of the things I'm optimistic about would be it kind of more would go against what people are really afraid of, right? So, I listen to, I've listened to several other, podcasts and different things of people talking about where, what's the end? Where could AI lead to? And it very much gets to the point where, AI is on its own now, and it doesn't need humans, and we all get destroyed and that sort of thing. And I think one of the things that's interesting is that we're not actually very good at predicting what the future is going to look like. I think when we just watch Back to the Future Part 2, right, and you're just like, oh my gosh, okay. Some things you're like, we went way better than that. Some things are, horrible or whatever. But any movie where they talk about the future, you're just like, okay, it gets cringy.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is that, there's this very kind of black and white, like that if intelligence evolves, that this is this is where it's going to lead to having this some other purpose. And I really think that for me, one of the things that I guess in that realm that I have hope for is that I I think I think purpose is a very human thing, and I think that it takes more than intelligence. And I think that's the thing that we're afraid of is something that I think uh, deep down as a human, if a human was super intelligent, how people are going to use AI, how they, if somebody wants to hit, a button to destroy everything. But um, I just think that if there was something artificial that was super intelligent, that it would probably it would probably say, why do anything? Like that's to me, it would be like, yeah, I know everything, but what's my goal, right?
Right.
And what's interesting too is you actually see that even with people that are very successful, right? Like someone who wins the lottery, they get very depressed. They get, they achieve all this stuff, getting to certain, that certain level. You go, well, now what? What do I
Yeah.
do now? What's my, and so, for as humans, it's like our purpose. I mean, we do things that are, it's like me volunteering at the theater. It's like, hey, we want to improve the culture. We want to do this kind of things, um, because these other purposes don't, they won't have any sort of fulfillment. And so it's hard for me to think of AI as becoming something that's like, you would ask, well, what's your goal? Like,
Yeah.
what's your end goal? Where do ask AI, where do you see itself? I just don't think it'll ever be able to answer that, because it's like, well, where can I derive purpose? So I don't know, that for me, that's kind of a hopeful thing there. Is I think as a human being, I think there's characteristics and traits
Yeah.
that I believe can't be artificial. So
And I love that. I love that idea, because you're sort of saying like it's never going to get to a point where it's trying to take us over or it's trying to do any of that. It's always going to be sort of a tool that we are using out there for it. That feels optimistic.
And
to
I
me.
think that what we're saying too is that is AI so programmatic that it just like continues doing things like we talked about the paperclip thing. It's like
Right.
if you make paper clips, you make everything in the entire universe out of paper clips, or does it get to a point where it can start to say like there is no point? But what I'm hearing you're saying, Mike, is that it's like as maybe as humans, it's about the journey, not necessarily the result. A lot of the time, that we derive some of that purpose about being able to do the things that get us to an endpoint. Because I know that the journey is really fun for me a lot of the times, and when you get to
yeah,
that result, you're just like, the thing's
right,
over now. Like
right,
like I didn't get to the thing, or I
right,
got to the thing and I wish I was back in when I was like getting towards it. And
right.
I feel like that's something that helps us feel a little bit more invested in that. And in AI, it is in of itself, it's like in a second can get to a lot of these things, and where are we
Right.
headed with it?
And I think it boils down to that fulfillment and purpose is not mathematic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't. It's not. And in fact, I guess I would say it's not really. I guess I would say maybe it's not scientific either. Like,
Yeah.
from the standpoint of, I would say obviously, instincts and those kind of things. And you have pets, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's like, you all you want to do is eat now, and it's like, yeah, I relate to that. And um, those kind of things. But I would say that, yeah, but just in general, I don't think you can mathematically get to a point where something would have a self awareness of being fulfilled with something, and just start having its own purpose. And I mean, that's not, because I don't think that's intelligence.
Yeah.
It's something more than that.
Yeah.
So
I
so for me, I'm like, yeah, I and the reality is too, I can't I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's not like we're controlling where that's gonna go.
Right.
No, I love that. That feels like a great hopeful thing to end our conversation on. Appreciate you coming in. I know it's late over there, on the East Coast. Thank you for doing that. Is there maybe like a theater show you want to promote or talk about or anything like that?
Well, I guess I don't know if you have anybody that's near Greenville, South Carolina.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we do have our youth shows coming up, Enchanted Bookshop, so that one's gonna be pretty fun. But honestly, I think more people are probably near other theaters and stuff, and I think I said something similar last time that and even I guess tying into having more fulfillment is getting involved in something in your culture that is going to improve people's lives. I can guarantee you it's a lot more fulfilling than getting angry on Facebook. How about that? And it's gonna actually do more good, and I think you're gonna have a better influence on society that way. And so if anyone's out there who hasn't done stuff like that, I'd say try it and see what happens. So.
I love that. More community.
Yes, exactly.
Always good. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you coming on. It was a great conversation as always. I'm certain we'll have you on again.
Absolutely. We have another Mike that would love to have a. We
have two developer mics.
We're gonna have a Mike and Mike.
We
panel.
need a panel of you.
There could be only one.
You'll battle it out to the death.
That's right.
Love it.
It'll be on the show. So Mike and Mike does say nice interview, Mike. So we had a lot of chat going on throughout this that they really appreciate some of the concepts and they were able to build on what you had said. So we really appreciate you jumping on our 100th episode show.
Yeah.
And it's been
congratulations
such a fun time,
again.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
Well, have a good evening, and we will touch base, I'm sure, again in our future.
All right. Sounds
so
good.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
You have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was awesome. Mike is a great friend of the show and someone that is, I mean, the depth that we can get into in the different perspectives. I like the positive perspectives that you get in with that.
Yeah.
Any other hot takes that you had from this one?
I would say just mostly like it's really interesting to hear like from that side. Like we hear about like the news, right? Like we hear about the SaaSpocalypse and about how the last few months have been like these major releases that have really changed that particular sort of like role of coding and everything. But to hear from somebody like in the trenches doing it all the time that says, hey, I've been using this basically since the beginning, and man, the last 6 months has been the most transformative that it's been. Like I mean, it makes me a little bit, I'm always nerve-wracked how like quickly this sort of exponential curve is. And, hearing it from the horse's mouth here with Mike is like, it's interesting to hear and just sort of confirms what's in the zeitgeist right now.
Absolutely. It's interesting to hear like a software architect, like, I don't want to write code anymore. And what gets me with that is that, like, is there a point where we don't learn enough code that we don't know what the hell we're writing anymore, and we're just asking it, and we get to a point where we actually crash because...
But, like, in some ways, like, I use a computer and I use a TV and a phone and all those things, and if you were like, hey, Ryan, in the background, how does all that stuff really work? I'd be like, how do I know my internal combustion engine? Like, I use it as a tool. I don't necessarily know how it like gets together. Someone does, but like, I don't need to be the expert in all of that. But I guess maybe someone needs to be the expert, whereas, we're letting the AI be the expert, possibly in the future.
That's one of those pieces. Well, I think we've finally reached our 100th episode reflection point, Ryan. So
let's do it.
If you've been hanging out here, we are going to jump into it. So we're going to go transition. This is double like transition mode.
Double transition.
We got to double everything, right? And it's double drop down. So I'm going to go in the other room. And actually, why don't you go in the other room?
Okay. And
then I'll transition you over to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of our clips and insights from the past. It's going to be awesome because we're going to take a little bit of a historical journey. And some of the people in the chat actually Disturbed. I see Mike Zool, Stealth Mouse. Yeah, you've been on the show before. We have some clips. We may be able to show some of those. We'll see in just a second or in the other room.
Yep, I see He Higgs still in the chat. It's the 100th episode. I feel like this was a fun one. We Adam and I sort of dug into the vault and looked at old clips from years ago and sort of pulled different things we thought was like interesting or just sort of like moments for the show. And I feel like it'll be fun to revisit some of those. It was definitely the job that I work at, we talk about reflection a lot and how important reflection is. And when you go and do something new for the first time, then you go back and you reflect on it before you move on. Or if you've been doing something. And so this is very cool to be like, all right, I'm going to reflect on it and think about what we've been doing. It was good.
Do I see that we have hairstyles that were absolutely for the show? We need to see this for sure.
Nice.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. You know who I'm talking to. All right. So we're gonna have a 100th episode cake here that I think we need to talk about because this was from
He
Higgs.
He Higley in the chat, a stalwart of the chat for years, gifted us a cake. Had DoorDash send us over a cake.
Can you show
for the 100th episode?
Ryan's gonna put this in front of the thing so we could see this.
Da, 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 da.
Oh my God! It's the 100th episode.
It's the 100th episode cake. A funfetti cake.
All right.
The 100th episode.
Are we gonna sing a song for this?
No,
I don't know how this
like,
is gonna work. We have lighters in here for this.
Wow.
Oh, maybe if I can get that. Let's see. Hopefully it's not like trick candles here.
Oh man, that would be classic. Okay.
It's like our birthday at this point here.
Happy 100th episode. Okay, blow them out. To 100
yes!
more.
100 episode. Thank you,
Yes,
Higgs.
appreciate
Look at this
you.
thing.
That
Hell
thing is
yeah.
amazing. It's awesome. Now we're gonna like eat cake as we reflect. Apparently,
Look at I even brought a knife.
Oh my
I
God,
brought a knife to this party, Ryan. The DoorDash was like, "Hey, that cake's frozen. You may have to like let it thaw." And I was like,
okay.
Oh, it looks like a delicious cake too.
It does.
All right, Ryan, are you gonna eat some of this?
Sure.
All right, let's get into the 100 episodes. Did you have some things that you wanted to talk about initially, or?
I mean, what did you want to do? Do you want to do some reflection questions? Do you want to share some videos first?
Let's start with some reflections as I get our cake ready, and then I think what we're gonna do is we'll jump into some of our next steps.
We'll show some videos too.
So Ryan, I think that before the show we were having some conversations on this. Why don't you ask some initial questions?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I feel like we just jump into them and then we ask what we answer what we want and we think about it. So okay, what did you think the show is going to be when we started this? I feel like because it changed quite a bit, right? Was there an idea in your head of what the show was?
That's a good question. I think one of the first things that I had imagined that we would get into was a little bit more around the do-it-yourself creative thing. Like I thought that we were like, this is our creative podcast. We're going to be different than everyone, and we're going to show how creative we are, and people are going to love it. And they're going to watch us like build things. Then I remembered like in early on, it was like, oh crap, like building things takes a lot of like bullshit time. That's like
tedious, like creation time of just bounding your head up against something. I will say a couple of people have said in the chat, like, look, and Disturbed, like 3D printing. And I kind of thought that's what it was going to be. When I came in, Adam was like tripling down on 3D printing. He was super into it, and I sort of knew about it. And I was like, okay, we'll do 3D printing. We'll do 3D printing every time during the show. We'll print something new. like something maybe that we design. I was like, I have background in 3D modeling. Maybe I'll get into 3D modeling stuff and we'll just print different types of things and try stuff out. And then we will also then play video games. And that will be sort of the show. We'll do a little bit of 3D printing and then we'll play video games kind of, you know, as if it was on Twitch, you know? And so I was like, great, that'll be the show. I think you could probably get, you know, like a few episodes out of that. And that could be interesting and it's creative and it's all of that stuff. And so that's what I thought sort of the initial thrust of the show was. Mostly because I was sort of following Adam's lead and I was like, hey, he's into 3D printing. Cool. I can, that's interesting to me.
So here's a moment. This is we're going to show you the first clip for the night.
Okay.
First clip of the night. All right. If you're ready for this. This is literally on YouTube. You didn't realize that we actually streamed. I streamed over 100 episodes on YouTube on a different channel.
Yeah, well, and Disturbed said like, oh, but it is on Twitch. Not always the case. We have, you know, 25 episodes.
This is
on
the
YouTube.
first streamed
man.
episode on the show. And this was me going in to like stream on the same freaking printer that you saw earlier today. And I'm saying nothing. It's literally like me printing something on a crappy camera for how many ever hours. This is the #1 stream that came from that room.
Wasn't it so that you could like literally leave the house at some point and be able to check in on the stream and be like, oh, it hasn't messed up? Like it feels like it was more utilitarian, you know. It
was to be able to have a kill switch if this thing started on fire. Where that thing's sitting right now is basically where we were both sitting, and that shelf on that side to the right there is where all our cameras and our computers that were shooting at us, and so to the left is the backdrop of that. So this is #1 first scene ever on the show.
What were you 3D printing? Do you remember?
From the looks of it looks like some sort of like camera mount.
Okay.
So that was the thing. It was very like, I have a 3D printer and nothing to be able to camera mount things. Then I started making camera mounts. All right, that was the first clip of the show. I was definitely afraid it was going to catch fire. So as we started to get through some of the shows, I took some time this last week to go through all of our clips.
Yeah.
And it got me like nostalgic as
Me
hell.
too.
Because I was like, holy crap.
I was watching some of them and being like, oh, that's fun.
So did you get to our first appearance on the show on the YouTube one? Did you put a link for it? Mm-hmm. Was it this one? Because there was the Hangout with Adam and Ryan, which is episode 1 of the Twitch stream.
No, I think I think I saw one of them that was like us on your Abdonimus one, and it was like from the corner. Do you remember like the whole entire thing was shot from like the top edge of the corner?
This is we do have one. This is the first time we ever tried to stream.
Yeah.
This was like us. Are we
Adam's
live?
just cursing.
Are we live? It's the family show.
Yeah.
Look at Ryan there.
No, that happens a lot.
They haven't changed a bit.
24 hours to activate your what?
They're like, look at the
Would
light.
you say that it's basically ready to go? Absolutely. And,
We have a terrible screen in the background.
Yeah, like I mentioned this. I was like, is the screen just going to be showing 5 seconds later?
Oh, wait, we should probably go to this camera. Okay. Let's see here.
Ryan looks acidic.
So
we're going like that.
That's true.
So this is our 3D printing roots, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But when I actually had it out, I was like, that feels solid and really cool. It's pretty slick.
All right, so I thought that was funny. Definitely
good one.
Very rookies.
It's like one camera. It's all washed out.
Like no
Sounds like
lights,
crap.
just like coming down from the top.
Just the fluorescents are on.
Yeah, it was a tough time in those days. We don't have to keep going through every single. Yeah, so Ryan and I. Yeah, sounds like a Crayon conspiracy. Mike Azul knows the freaking history. Gotta love this guy. He knew.
That's great.
that came from years ago. It was probably like 20 years ago. We came up with the concept where we're going to make a blog called Crayon Conspiracy.
Yeah.
And that was what Double Dropdown was going to be. But Double Dropdown came out at that same time. Mm-hmm. We used to have, here's the history. Does anybody
of the name?
Does anybody know what Double Dropdown came from? Anybody know?
I do.
Yeah, hell yeah, we do. If you didn't know. And it's actually kind of funny because it has to do with
it was where we worked together, right?
When we worked together.
When we worked together, and we wanted to come up with something we were going to do a podcast together, or we were going to do some kind of like, I don't know, like really short news sort of show. And we came up with a bunch of names, and we liked Double Dropdown. We as like, you know, alliteration that sort of, you get the DDD in there. It sort of feels techie. And so we got the Twitter handle, and we got the, website, and like Adam, because he's not only a physical hoarder, but a digital hoarder, I'm sure kept it for all of those years in between, and kept paying GoDaddy or whatever for that URL. And so then when we started this back up, we were like, all right, that already has like 50, Twitter followers. Maybe we just pick that up.
So where it came from is inside, I'm going to just say the name, Blackboard Learning Management System. In the admin panel, there was a double drop-down arrow that would open your admin panel. And so you and I would always say, click the double drop-down button.
Right. That's true.
And then it would open up that button, and so we were like, double drop-down. That is so amazing. So thank you, Blackboard.
It was like an inside joke. It was like an inside joke between us.
100%. Double drop-down button. Thank you, Blackboard.
Play another clip. I feel like we want.
All right. Actual first show. So this was still on. We were going on. Okay, this is a good one here.
Yeah, this is the one that I saw as the very actually first show where I was ever on anything. We had 4 screens. We were like, this is amazing. Yeah, like the camera was like a weird sort of security camera of us.
It definitely looks like a security camera. We were playing games, and we're like, 3D printing games. Everyone wants to sit down on their afternoons and watch that in their evenings.
Yeah, and the idea was we'd be like, we'd be 3D printing on one side. We would come up with what we want to 3D print. Then it would 3D print while we were playing Halo, and then maybe by the time we got to the end we would have a 3D printed thing. I think that fell through pretty quickly because it usually takes like hours and hours and hours beyond what we would do on a normal stream to end up with the finished product. So there's a little bit where we would always end it with not actually a cool 3D printed thing.
We're like, next time
we'll show it off. Yeah, exactly. But then it was also like we were just going to play through all of the Halo games on Legendary, I think was the plan, from like Halo CE all the way up through Infinity, or that hadn't even come out, I don't think, at that point. And God, we did that for a ton of different like episodes. Was basically us playing Halo and us 3D printing.
One microphone, different headsets. How amateur.
Oh
hey, we still have the controllers. We got a couple beers in this thing.
Yeah, we did bring beers. I remember drinking beers more.
I crafted those tables though to raise them to bar height. But what's kind of interesting is that backdrop where we have all the little the junk on it that looks terrible. That's a terrible backdrop. That is where we sit and look towards now, because that's the cool part of the show.
Oh, the headsets look cooler. I cannot disagree more. The Sony Svelte headsets. This is the one that I use every day at work. I wear it 9 hours a day. I love it.
Look at the differentiation between the washed out camera and then like,
wow, this one. It's almost like somebody spent thousands of dollars to upgrade it. Between then and now,
the amount of money I spent.
We should have. That's what we should have. We should have like a little like how much money has Adam spent this entire time?
I would probably say, if you want an honest figure from everything, it's probably like close to about $20,000.
Yeah, right. I can see that. But do you use anything with anything else? Like, do you?
No, that's the worst part.
You're like, it has no other utility in my life.
So, and I mean, it's been spent over time, but there have been times I'm like, I have buckets of cables that I was like, I might need these things.
Yeah.
And I just bought hundreds and thousands of dollars of crap. Like I had created another secondary like remote kit that I spent so much time on.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, they didn't work. Put it out.
Yeah, like I remember that there was always like a backup kit that Adam wanted to buy. Like he was very concerned that at some point the current system was going to go down and we were going to have to be like, okay, move to the backup system. And I remember being like, sure. I mean, I get that makes sense that we would, you know, need a backup system, but man, okay.
All right. So if you want to get into some history, look at us now, you know.
Okay. Here's us.
This is the first time we started to get into the show. We're gonna show it in just a second. So think about those couple clips where we're trying to find our way. I'd say that this is probably like 6 months in maybe now, and we started to say, hey, we got a show together. We actually got this thing vibing. And so here
we have name keys.
This is it. What are we
Like-
saying? I want to hear.
Wait, what?
Oh, the slider.
The little
Did you have dimensions on it?
Oh, and I remember we used to start
Okay,
the
Can
show.
you phone in a cat?
So my idea for the show was that we would be in the middle of a conversation when the show started. And the show would just start and we would be in the middle of it, and then we would end up and then we would finish the conversation, and then we would get into announcing the show. And I liked that idea because it felt like dynamic, like you were coming in and just walking into two people who were, you know, cool and having a drink and sitting around and talking about technology, and you were just sort of showing up in the middle of it. I like that idea. It is a little weird to start every show like in the middle of a conversation, so I feel like we dropped that.
Look
after
at
a
those
while.
big like screens in front of our
Yeah,
face, like
right?
that stop
I'm
the
like-
pop. We're still using some of the same mics.
Yeah.
But the background had no 3D printer. But look we got one light.
We got a light,
colored
you know,
light.
purple light in the background. Certain things are still there, like your grandfather's picture or whatever like that.
Yeah.
The caricature of him.
in
stuff
that
is still there.
that whiteboard is
Whiteboard's still there.
The camera, or not the camera, but the clock.
that red seat that's back there that now has a skeleton on it or
Oh,
something.
see, we got some evolution on this thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and this one, like, I feel like we weren't on the good camera at this point, right?
No,
We were probably not.
it doesn't look like it.
All right. So that one was fun. Like I feel like that was like we're like, all right, we're starting to get the vibe. That was 4 years ago, by the way.
Wow.
4 freaking years ago.
Yeah.
When we called that one, that was considered episode 105. How I did the episodes back in and when we were on the YouTube side is I would do it based off of every time I streamed. So if I did a 3D print, I would say, cool, that's episode whatever, and move on to the next. There wasn't like the episodic Adam and Ryan show. We called it the Adam and Ryan show at that point.
I think we did. I think we did call it Adam and Ryan show.
That was fun. All right. So this one was like, I think when we said the show begins to take shape, I think is that the one we just did? Our 3D printing roots?
Yeah, I remember a lot of what we were thinking about doing is like modeling and getting things ready to 3D print on the show. And that was kind of neat. Like we would set it up and we'd be like, oh, right, like what are we going to 3D print? Oh, it's a Halloween or something. Let's get like a
pumpkin.
A pumpkin
And
that
this
we
is
can
the
do.
do it yourself. And you know what's interesting is like YouTube used to keep all of our chats. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
this is the chat from YouTube during that time
Oh,
frame.
nice. Off onto the right. Nice. Who is in there? Disturbed is in there still.
Do we see Disturbed?
Yeah,
Yes.
I see Disturbed in there.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Oh, but who knows where Shades of Black ever
I know
went.
Jalen. I know Jalen.
Well, and I feel like we never got to this point because we never got good enough at 3D modeling to like do it well.
Yeah.
Or in the moment, like build things in the moment. And that's always the part that's hard about 3D printing or just creative stuff live is that it's not very interesting to watch live, to be honest. It's why there's no reality shows with graphic designers, right? There's no reality shows with animators, because all of that shit is super boring to watch. It takes hours, right? And so, you're like, well, we'll just finish it on the show or something. It was always hard to figure out what our style was there. Love playing zombie games. Like, what was this? What's the name of this?
This was Stubbs the Zombie.
Stubbs the Zombie.
But why did we think that the sweet angle of you with a terrible camera was going to be great?
I know, right?
Let's look at all the angles of Adam and Ryan.
Yeah, I think it was just like, I think it was more just like Adam had all these camera angles and we're like, why aren't we just using that all the time? Like, I mean, you have these cameras, they're running, do it.
All right, so
Stubbs the Zombie, still fun.
It's a great one, built on the Halo engine, the original Halo engine.
Havoc engine.
Yeah, it was great. All right, so I love this like little history lesson that we're going through. Mm-hmm. All right, do you want to go to the first episode on Twitch?
All right, this is where we officially start counting, I guess, at this point, like official episode 1, what we'll call it. We have bumpers at this point. Like we went in and we were like, okay, I'm gonna make a bumper. It was definitely 3D printing focused, but it's sort of 3D printing and games.
This is the official one. So this was number 1. So it's crazy to think that we actually had probably like 40 episodes before this episode. So this is technically 140th, but like when the show locked in and we were dedicated and we were doing some of the things, this is what this show is, and this used to be our bumper. But let's see what we look like. Man, look at that. Starting to get that background going.
Yep. Stubbs below us. The zombie like on the ground. Some colored lighting.
I don't think I had the camera back there yet.
No.
But we started hitting our stride there. Hey, look at the microphones.
Same microphones. Got our Sony headsets on.
I think that we got the vibe. We were like Twitch, and I remember you saying Twitch was where we needed to go.
Yeah, and there was some trepidation about it at first. Adam had some like friends who had done some things on Twitch and like had some bad experiences of it, and so it was kind of like it was up in the air for a little bit, and we were kind of like, well, we play video games. It's live. Like that is where people go for that kind of stuff. So we switched over to Twitch.
I think it was, and so in those early days, we were like jacking with printers. Like, here's me installing something on the printer. I think this was the camera that you get to see every so often. It looks at that nozzle.
Yeah,
like it's
I feel like
there.
way better camera angles and things like this at that point. Way higher quality kind of.
It's me yapping around in the back, you talking, and then we would play video games for the other half of the show.
Oh God, is this the dig?
It's the dig.
Oh man, when there's a reflective question here where we talk about like some of the games that we had played during it, and like we played a bunch of these LucasArts games, and I feel like the dig was one of my favorites. Like sci-fi adventure, not so hard that it was ridiculous that we couldn't even get past anything, but still interesting enough. Cool graphics. I feel like we had a crew of people who were like hanging out with us at that time and actually like, getting in a little bit and talking about, what we needed to do. That was fun.
It was definitely one of those times where we transitioned. We started in YouTube, and then the first Twitch show was like in the middle of this game.
Okay.
So I think that was great.
Nice.
And so, man, I'm feeling the vibes, man, of all this history here. Let's ask another question.
Okay.
When did it start feeling real for you? That is the question. Because I think those earlier days, we were kind of like, it's cool. Let's show up every so often and do a show. And then when did it start to like click that, oh man, we got a show here?
I would say when we transitioned to Twitch, like it feels like we were sort of getting our legs underneath us with all the YouTube stuff. And I don't know if that was just a thing where because we were switching platforms or because we had, done 20 shows probably at that point, 25 shows, I think. It felt like, we knew what we were doing. We had gotten some feedback about the show, and we were sort of like, hey, great, cool. We know kind of what we want to do, what is fun, what is interesting to us, and somewhat at least interesting to an audience. And so that's where the point where I was like, okay, this is a thing. We're having like planning meetings about it, as opposed to me just showing up at Adam's house and being like, well, I guess we're playing Halo or something. I don't know. And we'd actually were talking about it and planning out those things. So definitely
we're like thinking about
Yeah.
it. Like it wasn't. We did keep it as a hangout. In the chat, I do see that folks are talking about Justin TV. Mike Azul, did you not work for Justin TV? Was that not a thing?
Really?
I feel like that was a thing, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm just curious if you had that. I felt like it was real when we really started to dedicate ourselves and said we can't miss a specific time. Oh, I have my AI going off over here. So when we first started saying, hey, we can't miss a show, or we got to keep to the schedule, it started feeling real, like when we actually gave a crap that we might miss it. And we're like, all right, we're going to do a virtual show.
Yeah.
We're
gonna
on
plan
vacation.
it. Yeah, exactly. We'll like do it together, and then one person on Zoom at the ski lodge or whatever, because we can't miss a time. I do remember that being when we were working on this. I was also in the background working on developing a podcast with a few different people for the company that I used to work with, CCL. And one of the things I always told them is like, you have to be consistent. Like, the reason that people come back to podcasts is you can't just do 3 of them and then wait 3 months and then do a couple more. Like, people hate that. They need a consistent schedule on it. And I hammered that home a lot. And I feel like we sort of picked that up as a mantle, and we're doing it every other Thursday. And I feel like we have been pretty damn good with
Hells yeah. We don't take many breaks. And, I was thinking like, we just got to keep, grinding through it. I'd say where we hit our stride, and it seems kind of crazy to think about it, but it was about 10 episodes again that I feel like we really got into this vibe of the podcast. And having a dedicated time. And I think it started before this episode. So this is episode 89 that we're going to take a quick peek at, which you could just think this is us tonight, right?
Right, exactly. Here, me like this, holding my hands.
Ryan holding his hands. Adam's tattoos filled out a little bit more. We're doing the things. Like, this is where the consistency. And we came out into this room. I think this is this is the first episode we did in the bar.
Oh,
and
right.
so we had like a zoomed out version of the bar, but this is the time where we started to say, hey, the bar is the thing.
Disturbed Shifty asking, how did we pick at 8 p.m. on Thursday?
Oh, that's a
like,
great question.
where did that come from? I feel like 8 p.m. we thought we need time before the show to plan and talk about the show. And we need to be able to like eat and do things because I need to be able to drive down. And so I think we were like, well, I'll show up at 7. We'll do the show at 8 and then it'll end at 10. And then I think eventually we sort of pushed it. We were just like, well, we want to do a bunch of things. So it'll be 11. So it sort of started as 2, but I feel like it ended up being 3 hours.
And the other part was we were like, first of all, we want to do it close to the weekend.
Yeah.
But we also didn't want to do it on nights that like are Friday and Saturday. Right. And we wanted to like say, what is the anticipatory night where you're like, it's almost over. Let's go hang out. And then it was like great for time zones so that like you were a little later, you could at least watch the first hour or 2 and dip.
And early, if you were earlier, right, you'd get it at 7. I mean, that's prime time, supposedly. I will also agree that like we were thinking about it in the sense of like, oh man, if we wanted to continue to do this, we needed to make it like a normal time where we could actually do it and stick to it. And like, if you're trying to do it a Friday or Saturday night, forget it.
And I think too, as we started to get into it a little bit more, we knew that we wanted to, like you said, do it a couple more hours than that. Mm-hmm. But then the travel that has to go into it, and it was Run Club. Run Club was on Wednesday nights.
That's right.
And so we used to do a running club, which I actually got back into recently. Nice. And then that we were able to do that. So the other thing that I would say is the community is the reason why we started to adopt news and go to the podcast model.
Right.
What we would do is we would watch our numbers And basically what would happen is we would talk about news and we would talk about something, super high viewership. The second we turned on video games, tanked. Everyone's like, see ya, good night, you're done. And I was like, yeah, that's probably the thing. It wasn't interactive, didn't have the connection. Sure. It was a thing. Hey, Disturbed, you still out there, buddy? Because we got a little bit of a clip for you. Guess what happened on episode 2, Ryan?
Episode 2. Oh, that's right. It was one of the ones where I could not show up.
And so who was on episode 2 but Disturbed Shifty?
Nice. So we were 2 episodes in and I was like, nope, can't make one. I think I was like literally going to be like in the air traveling.
Yeah, I think you were. I think at that point it was that.
Because what day is this?
It's hard to tell. That was about 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering.
And Disturbed has been on 2 shows.
Well, yeah, multiple shows.
Yeah, it's like crazy to see time. What do we? Oh, we went and we did a Destiny thing. I think
you guys played
did.
Destiny.
We play Destiny that time. So of course we're showing off the 3D printer. Look at this. It was Destiny at the time when Disturbed was at 1441, and that was amazing. I mean, what are you
Adam
at
was
now?
probably at like 11.
That's a pretty cool ship that he has. I think you were educating me on this at that time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
He's telling me all the different kind of like weaponry. You have so many hours. You got to tell me how many hours.
Is this Destiny 1 or 2?
This is 2. This is 2. So you had to tell us how many hours you got in Destiny, but we had to give you credit because you were on the show. So that's
love that.
That's what you had there.
Yeah, totally. Co-hosting our one and only ever co-host job.
No, he had 2 co-host jobs, and there was a bunch of other co-hosts. Ryan, you don't short all our other co-hosts here. Hey, so this particular show was episode 45. Where he jumped in. He had the Moobies shirt on.
Nice. So
there we go. Got that going. My beard is a little less epic at this point. I'm still wearing the glass. Oh, we were playing. Oh, this.
No, this is where Kathy was on.
It was the whole show with everyone.
This was the one with everyone.
We played the board game.
This is our AI board game. We had finished the AI board game. That was an epic playthrough of this game. Do you remember how like close it was? Like half of the team survived, the other half died right in the last moment. It was like legitimately fun to play this game over. I mean, it was like a couple hours it took. Because you can see how complicated it was.
It's a great game. I gotta say, I love it.
I have played it multiple times with my family and stuff, like during holidays. It's fun.
I think we need to get that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it for free. People can go and get the thing.
It was I remember my mother watching this and her being like, I didn't understand what the hell was going on with that game, but you guys seem to be having a heck of a time. And I was like, yeah.
All right, so
3,000 hours in Destiny 2.
How many days is that? That's 125 straight days.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Dedication. You gotta dedicate yourself to things.
Very impressive. All right, so we'll just do a quick one. We're gonna go through all our guests just really fast. So we had Frank on the show. So
why don't I not remember this?
Yeah,
it's just me being gone a bunch of times. Crap.
This was episode 8. Adam had the big beard.
God,
I pulled
dang.
in Frank. I'm like, hey Frank, jump on the show.
And he just stayed there the entire time. And
he was like, I'm not into doing shows, and so I
so he just sort of sat there. You were carrying the show a little bit.
I did have, and I don't think he's ever watched the show since. This was his one show. So there you go. Frank was on the show. Totally. Thank you, Frank, for being on the show.
Nice.
That was good. Of course, we have a couple people. Stealth Mouse, she was on the show. I think there was a couple different versions of the show. So we got to put Stealth Mouse.
Oh yeah.
So there she is. She was known as Heather at this point. She's had.
We didn't have a gamer tag underneath her.
Had the blonde hair at that point.
That's right.
Looking good. There we go.
Nice. And I remember she would like be on occasionally and play games and stuff with you.
We
right?
had the
like,
Adam and Heather shows, like retro gaming with us as well.
Yeah.
But we also got to say, Ryan and Kathy.
Man, Kathy and I did a literal year on the show. Like we did every Friday. We played through a game for like a year in the basement. We played through all the Metal Slugs. We played through FMV games.
This show, I found, it's hilarious because if you watch it, I saw the bottle of wine come out and the show slowly degrades as you drink as you drink the
that,
wine.
I'm sure.
I don't even know if by the end, like I want to go to the end, like is Kathy like Kathy tapped out.
Oh yeah, there are times
because of
totally. We'd just be like, Kathy'd be like, I gotta go to bed. Seriously.
No, but I loved it because it was like such a great. And this was when we were designing.
Oh, that's right. I think there was.
game.
I think in this particular episode, we had actually planned it out that she would be here for a certain part, and then I would go in and just talk about like the game because this was the actual show. This was
this was a
so
real
this
show.
was our real show. But the Kathy and I did do a Friday, gaming show like quite a bit. We also played through a bunch of classic games,
Multiple
like fun
games.
Indiana Jones games. I have some clips of those, like if you want to do any of mine. But anyway, yeah, Kathy and I, it was super fun. We need to get back into that actually.
You didn't think we thought that we forgot about you, Mike Azul?
I know, right?
Because there he is.
Nice.
There's a special Mike on the show.
Bringing in like a bunch of board games, right? This is
Hell
the board
yeah.
game show off. Yeah, I love that.
He went
That was
through a
great.
bunch of and explained it.
Gosh, you guys are both like CSU Pueblo decked out.
We talked about that. I think we were like, hey, should we address the fact that we're doing this? I think this was the night too that I felt so terrible. Like the show was done and then he got in his car, like his car couldn't start.
Oh,
And I was like,
man.
oh my God. So like help get him home or to the
Oh,
thing. And
dude,
like,
I
it
had
was
no
like, I
idea.
felt so bad, but you got it all figured out. But it was such an amazing show. He was on the show. It was
Totally.
like, I think our first 3-person show.
Yep,
like this.
and it was awesome because like he had a whole thing planned out. You could tell he very much like thought it through and was like, oh, I'm gonna be a guest. I should have like interesting segments that I'm going to be doing. I was super impressed with Mike and the games that he brought and just like the energy that he brought too.
He's going to be on the show. He almost was on the show tonight.
Almost,
But
we
he
almost
ha-
had the round table,
But he had to have his, it was good. He was with his daughters, which was the right
That's right,
choice.
shitty art and board games. I
Yeah.
remember that now. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good show.
Okay.
Laura's got to be next on the show.
I
All
know, right? We need some of our stalwarts in the chat.
Okay,
man.
so we're gonna go with just a couple other ones, and then we'll hit into some other things, and then we got to answer some questions, and
Yeah.
then we got to play some games with you.
Totally.
So one of our first interviews on the show. Anybody can guess? Did you know who your first interview was on the show?
Who is the first interview that we did? Episode 16.
It was famous. It was a famous person. Huh? Did we get it?
Yeah. our winner.
Oh, you
Yep.
got it.
Jason Allen. So he had, when this happened, like him winning and being part of the Colorado, fair art show was like literally, a week old at this point. And I remember him doing that and being like, I bet I could just look his ass up on LinkedIn. And I looked him up on LinkedIn and I was like, hey, we have a show. Do you want to be on the show and talk about what you did there? And he wrote me back and he was like, yeah, I'm in Pueblo. You guys are doing a show in Pueblo? That's sweet. Should I just come by your house? And I remember thinking like maybe we should just do it, like it would be weird to cram 3 people in there. We obviously did it with, Mike Azul, but that was fun. It was really interesting. I remember us having come up with questions and everything. And it sort of came up. It was like 2 days before the show or 1 day before the show. And I was like, we can have Jason Allen on. Are we cool with that? Can you do that? And Adam rushed and got a bunch of things together. And we had this cool
I was
interview.
super nervous. I had come from a track meet or something with my kid, and then I remember he would just barely he got his award, and I was like, gotta get this show, and I was like sweating bullets, and then I was like, all right, we could get this show. We got it. And I don't know. I have high anxiety before the shows. It's gotten less lately,
Sure.
but this one was like, how are we gonna nail this? And
Right.
I remember him being very pensive before the show and being like, we're gonna steal his art or his
Oh,
prompt.
well, yeah, like and part of it was because part of it, like, we had him prompt something at the end. We were like, hey, Adam's getting married or something like that, was like the thing of the show, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was like, sure, I'll do a prompt with you on the show. And so we did a thing, and it was like Mid-Journey, and
I think it was like, yeah, I mean, we can scrub to what we did. We were maybe it was, we were doing games. So yeah, we didn't do it the whole show. Yeah, we were prompting in the,
because it was like a bride. It was like a
this was his prompt.
Nice.
Which ended up being pretty good.
Totally. Looks cool.
And he liked it because we weren't sharing his side of it. We just said ours, like you just said. And it was a fun show.
Nice. That was good. Sam Ebersol?
We had a Sam Ebersol, so one of the faculty members we worked with. Mm-hmm. And so we got to show everyone on the show. This is the history. This is the 100th episode, right?
Totally. And we were talking tons about AI at this point, like, and it was neat because Sam had just written like an article in the local paper, and it had gotten some, interest. And so we just wanted to like hear what he thought. I feel like we were sort of, we were going back and forth with Sam, and I feel like Sam was on like a different level of us at this point. Like he was talking about it more of like the societal level, and I feel like we were sort of like in the, it's going to be this tool, that gets used and everything.
Look at that shirt.
And he's like, oh man, Adam, get some new freaking clothes, could you please? Look at this Game Boy shirt.
Hey, what episode was this? This episode. Oh yeah, it was 36. It was a little bit of time ago, man.
Hey, I still got that Meow Wolf shirt.
You got rep the shirts there. So Sam Ebersol made it to the show, and then I think the only other look, we're not going to show Mike because Mike was already shown Mike Shipley.
Sure. Yeah.
But then the last one was our developer for our composer.
Yeah, exactly. Doing all of our chiptune stuff in GB Studio.
William Javier.
Yeah, that was great. I feel like he also sort of opened up more as we got to the end of this, because we had a full hour with both of them. And I feel like he was sort of nervous or pensive at the beginning. And by the end, he was just like sharing a bunch of stuff with us and showing all these different things and talking about how excited he was and how much he wanted to become like more into that scene. It was cool.
So amazing, like some of the things. And this was on the 24-hour stream.
And that was like Mike Shipley had given his $500 and we were already at our $1,250 goal, and this was, what was this like in the afternoon of, we had been up for 20 hours. I remember.
Look at us.
I know. We feel like a little out of it. I got the 1,000-yard stare there.
Yeah, your mouth like all open. Or like, oh my god, that was the thing. It was good. I loved it. So many guests, so many times. It's like the thing that I would say that I learned is that if you build the habit and you just continue to do your things, and so motivational double drop down at Hangout with Adam Ryan talk right here. If you want to do something in your life, you got to build a habit out of it. Mm-hmm. And then just show up as much as you can. Like I remember those first days we were like, we don't know what the hell we're doing. I think we talked about the show more on the show in those first days and how like funny it was that we were in a show. And then that just like faded away, and we became like what we are now.
Mike, as well, forget the very important recurring guest, the slap. We will have some of those in there for sure.
Do you have a link to the?
I
slap?
do. I have our very first slap.
Oh my god!
So see Extra Life Stream 2023 first slap.
Oh god, here it is. This is like at the end. Oh no, this is the first slap.
The very first slap that we ever did, because we were like, well, we need to do things when people. It's like we came up with on the spot that when we hit certain totals that we would be like.
This is it, right?
Yeah, but I would like go at a double speed or something, because if you click forward, it clicks forward like an hour because this is a 24-hour stream.
Oh crap.
So now you've lost it, right?
All right. So I gotta reload. I I got to reload from the clip.
I found this out very quickly that you can't scrub through on a 24
All right, so
stream.
we're just gonna yap over this part for just a second as we get to our slap, right?
Yeah, well, like even unmute it. Oh man,
You put
amazing.
us over the top. Now he has to slap me. It was Stealth Mouse that put us over the top.
Yep. All right. I feel like we got to do it in the.
Okay, here it is. First slap of the show.
Because this is us being like, am I slapping you or what's happening?
Are we slapping?
You
Slapping me?
masochist or what is it? Sadomasochist?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever that is.
Slap me and I gotta slap you.
Oh wait, I have to go first. How hard am I gonna slap you?
Yeah. No, I'm going first.
I remember like kind of a slap.
Yeah. See, it's us like figuring out how hard is the slap. Match my slap against me.
All right. We doing it here?
Yeah, it's not gonna be that hard.
Looks good. Thank you.
Does, yeah,
All right, so one
that.
of our things was at 300.
300.
Did some wait? Who said that?
We were getting
Stealth?
slaps, so
No,
you
I
just unlocked the
somebody's.
slap. To stay awake, of course.
Did you just say that on the actual stream? Because I just showed it. That was so. I don't know if somebody said it right now.
No, I think it was at the time.
Okay.
You can take it. You can try to do it.
Yeah, see, because the normal chat now is down at the bottom.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
I-
like if I do it this way,
we are really like.
we were figuring it out. We
sandbagging
were
this.
figuring it out.
I feel like it should almost be this way.
I think you just like did it too.
Well, this is a little plasticky, right?
Yeah.
But if I do it
I'm like, don't hit me with your
Yeah,
metal ring.
exactly. Yeah.
I remember you hitting me and be like, "Damn, you just
Yeah,
slapped me,
like
bro."
it was a straight up slap. Like this is not a love tap.
No, I don't. I feel like I did a weak one on you.
Yeah, see, like it was fine. I feel like it
was
got
good.
far more dramatic as we went on.
Oh yeah, by the end of the day, like the complete terrible, like it got to uncomfortable levels. This
Yeah,
last
of
24 hours,
of beating up.
people were
beating
like,
up
"Could
each
you
other."
stop, please?
Please.
don't keep showing us this kind of stuff." Was this the end of the year slaps? Should we look at this one, or was that even worth
Let's
it?
see.
I mean, people love the slaps.
9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, this was us ending the show. We had just passed 1,000.
Ordeal is over.
We everybody was in the chats, needing slaps. Like I feel like the 2023 our first one was like it came down to the wire. We got our goal at like the last like half hour of the 24-hour stream, and everybody was like screaming for slaps in the chat.
People were like, "Cut the game!"
Totally, everyone was like, "No one cares about the game. Slap each other!" Like it was ruthless, and probably like the most people we have ever had watch the show at that point.
They were jumping in.
They were jumping in at the end. Like it was all your kids and my kids and Kathy and all the normal crew.
Oh man.
What started? We just need to wake ourselves up.
Yeah, I think it started. I was trying to find if I had ever done it. Like I couldn't find
Oh,
one.
I
too.
got you good on that
Yeah,
one.
you could hear
You're
it.
red.
I'm red. Yeah.
Oh, you got me in the eye in that one. I remember it.
Last one.
Harder. Mike Azul. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Last one.
Extra life.
All right. Extra
Oh
life.
my god. Oh, you got me, bro.
Extra life stream 2023.
1,000.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
man.
That was good.
Oh, that was so good. Oh my goodness. That's what started the slappocalypse, everyone. So
Yep, that
it's
was our
helped us get into that vibe of where we're headed.
Do you want to do Adam beats Tetris on the 24-hour stream?
Sure.
I feel like I like that one.
yeah.
We don't have to watch the whole thing,
Mortal
but
Kombat machine at our house.
Yeah. Did I
That AI is such a.
was it the
cheap
whole
piece of
like
garbage.
vibe
It's
of it?
It's either.
What do you mean?
It's
So I had to go to the
mixed in.
highest level,
So
highest
it's either
speed,
way too
and I
hard,
kept trying
and
this.
it'll
Right?
just-
Is this the
this
moment?
this is the moment where you beat
Or
it.
it's-
It could-
or
because
it's-
you're
it'll
you're
just
trying
give up.
you're trying to get
You're
a
just
certain
like,
amount
okay,
of
well, I guess I'll
lines,
just
right?
You have to go down from 21 lines. I think I had tried it for like 30 minutes at
yeah,
this
like
point.
we had tried it multiple times. Like you would go through it and you would do it, and you got really close one time, and then it ended up going to hell. And like we had tried it multiple times throughout the night, and this was
the run.
This was the run.
Skillful. And then it's probably when I get to a point where everyone goes quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what that's what had happened the previous time.
all.
Everyone had gotten quiet, and then you had totally boned it up, and then it had ruined the whole thing. And so when it got close to there, I was like, nope, I can't like just go quiet and just watch him do it. I was like, that's gonna jinx it. So I think I tried to keep going.
I think this was the moment too. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I mean,
I'm
it's
at
somewhat
10
fun.
lines.
Yeah.
It's somewhat fun.
I got
played
it.
plenty against the AI.
It's.
We're talking
are
about
way better about
Mortal Kombat machines.
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh my god, he's at 9."
Yeah.
You're quiet though. I'm locked in.
I wonder if like
That's a
game
you call-
balance
Yeah.
Is that just a job?
Yeah, I was like, think of something to say.
or like
Don't fuck
making
it
sure
up.
that the rewards that you get.
Good job,
and
dude. Thank you.
Like different.
I think I almost screw it up again.
Yeah, you do because
like
you
the-
start
the
stacking more
community stuff
things,
that
but then
do
you pull it
and
back
all
out.
of those, if they're like good,
Oh my
that
God.
makes your game popular.
Oh my god, I'm
And if
nervous
your
right
game is
now.
popular,
and you
then,
know
like,
you make it.
game is successful, and so you would want people like that.
Oh my
dedicated
God.
to that job.
Intense. Get it. Go, Adam.
Okay, there we go.
2 more
and
lines.
your son, Carson
I
comes
was
in and he's
mostly
like,
I was just trying to
this
fill
is it.
air.
He's got it.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh,
Okay,
dancing.
okay, we gotta watch this.
Thank you for putting that one in there. I
Totally.
couldn't figure out where that was.
Yeah.
Because this is Russia, right?
Because
So
I
they're
knew,
doing the
here's how I
Russian
found it. I
dance, they got
scrubbed
the
through until I found this
ladies on-
end
and
scene,
then
and then I was like, that's supposed to be where he
rocking, and then
got
this is-
it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for for humoring me putting that. That's like a childhood moment for me.
Yeah.
Of remembering those moments.
Nice. Let's see. I had a couple. So the first time we talk about Chat GPT 3 days after it came out.
Okay. And is it okay?
And-
in Mike Azul, I have not watched the Tetris movie yet
Oh,
because
man.
I have to. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, Mike. I am going to watch Severance, the Tetris movie, as much as I can. Like, I really want to watch Severance, and it's only on Apple TV, is my understanding. Is that right, everyone?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, now you can watch.
watch
there's
all
a
the
couple.
things.
There's a couple of good.
I have that
Apple
on my
TV.
list, and it's specifically Mike Azul. But
Okay.
there was what else is there?
Pluribus is now like a
Ooh.
sci-fi thing, which is going on there. Excellent.
This is 3 days after ChatGPT comes out.
Yeah. So ChatGPT 3 has been out for 3 days, and
I'm looking rough like a hobo.
Adam really big beard on this one.
I am
It's fun to
looking-
see. I feel like I change very little. Like my hair gets shorter or thinner, slightly longer, and there's like nothing. And Adam has like
Under the
your size
bridge.
beard. It's like I'm just like literally that Melanzana hoodie. Like here's my other Melanzana hoodie like that I could be wearing right now. But yeah, I mean, we don't have to watch through this entire thing. But basically, this is funny because it's me explaining what ChatGPT is. Like saying, it's like a large language model, right? And you're conversationally talking with and it's been out in beta for a while, and people really like. I listened to this whole thing, and it was very much one of those, when they talk about like, here's the Today Show talking about what the internet was in 1994, and they're like, it's a series of tubes. That's exactly what this is like. Is me trying to explain what ChatGPT is before we go in and use it.
Should we listen to this?
Nah, we
Or
don't have to.
You could just ask it to do things like everyone I'm sure has read the articles where it says an AI wrote this article, like wrote the first paragraph of this article, and you couldn't even tell. Like that's what this is, right?
Okay.
This is like
All right,
you
I'm
can ask.
excited. I didn't
things
know
like
it.
that.
Yeah, you were
exactly.
explaining it.
I was
Basically,
breaking
all I did
news
was
to
I
Adam
read
here.
about that 2 days yesterday or today. I can't
We
remember.
got to see what was our
And
first
I
thing we
logged
made on the
into
show.
my
Yeah,
I
right?
clicked on the link and logged into my OpenAI, which is free, right? And do you want to click over to it? I guess
Let's
like
take a look at it. Let's see what we got here.
so.
Wow,
yeah,
is this
and,
what it
I
looked
mean,
like?
it's
So
real
remember,
simple.
off to the side, you
Holy
could do the
crap.
temperature and
From
everything,
what I
and
can
they had
tell,
like
and I have not played with it. Very much.
Wow.
yeah,
There's
like
different
how
ways
creative
that
it
you
was.
can get
You
it
could choose the
to
Very
model.
dev-oriented.
Exactly. So you can put
Yeah.
in. So what this one is?
It was
like
the
you put
beta.
in a whole
And
bunch
this
of
is like you could
complicated
set it for
text.
summarize like a second grader, you know?
So you're already in it. Okay. I don't know if you want to burn your text on this. Too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hit submit.
And
But what
like it
this
was
does
really
is,
you could
like,
only had a
take
certain
all of
amount of free
this,
credits to
which is
use, and
sort
so
of
we
a
were always very
complicated
nervous
thing.
about using them.
And summarizes it for a second grader. So you could put in a whole bunch of complicated stuff, and it would try to summarize it.
See, Wow.
Wow.
this is like showing the future of how education could be.
100%. And think about it.
So that's stuff in like
Man,
Jupiter, planets, all this other stuff.
On the tip of the spear, we knew how this
So
thing
all
was
we
going.
need is the facts, and then we'll just let the computer, make it
Man, that's
appropriate
good.
for
It's-
second
it
graders,
feels like it's
and
gonna
then third
dumb us
graders,
down.
and then
It
fourth
feels-
graders,
yeah.
and fifth graders, right?
Man,
All you need is the facts, right?
You
and
just
then you
need,
can
like,
just
the
get
Is there an
high level,
image? Did we do-
craziest,
No,
most-
so I have a different
Yeah.
one. I have a
Oh,
different one
and,
for
yeah,
Dolly
totally,
2.
and like imagine students writing papers, right?
Oh
Like,
my
they
God.
they can't copyright check that. It's a brand new thing that no one has
That-
ever seen before.
Oh my god.
I was blowing Adam's mind.
oh Jesus!
Okay, so the other one up there. We tried Dolly 2 for the first time?
Okay, all right. And we, oh yeah, I love this one.
I
That
like
is,
the color in this one too.
is it this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Was it not that
I
moment?
thought it was like earlier than this, because here's us doing it a few times.
You wanna
Maybe
go-
this whole, I think actually this entire thing is us doing, I cut out this one because I thought it was interesting enough that I made this its own clip of us just
Yeah,
playing with
that was
Dolly
great.
2.
Yeah, add a little
Game
are
Boy
those
was
the
our
right
thing?
Yeah,
colors?
totally.
Look how bad it
Oh
was.
god, it was
Well, I mean,
so
it's
bad.
it's on
If you look at some of
like,
these, like I go through some because I was
like-
showing it
I
to
was
like
gonna
the people
say,
at
is it right
work
for
and everything, and it is awful.
Couldn't get words on there, but
No.
I mean, this is the bad spaghetti Will Smith time frame. We
Yeah.
didn't even have videos at this stage.
Yeah, no.
I think wait, going to this one. This was Stealth Mouse that asked for some.
Oh right, it was like a dinosaur washing a car or something like that in shorts.
They were pretty bad.
yeah, like
What was that thing it was trying to eat?
yeah.
God, the fact that we're at where we're at now. Remember we did infographics?
Yeah, so this is the thing. Like I have been working really dedicatedly on infographics now inside of Google Notebook LM.
Yeah, yeah.
And like look how terrible this is. None of those words even make any sense. Like it barely even is.
No,
Like it's not an infographic in any sort of way.
not great. We were trying to like put things into
Yeah,
photos.
right. Because you could upload a photo and you could like tell it to change it in a certain way, and it was bad at that. Yeah, like adding. It was like adding.
Look at all these
into it.
bad ones we created.
Yeah, no, these were so these ones are the good ones that were on the front page of the website. Remember they used to have
Oh,
just all
Jesus.
the examples. Yeah, I remember that fish was there for a long time. Anyway,
I love it.
that's what it looked like.
Man, chat is giving us some good insights here.
T-Rex thong.
Still better than my drawful skills.
Wait, I think there was. Let me do.
I think.
Oh, maybe that was it. Oh wait, I had one. Do where me and my entire family get a victory royale.
Oh, yeah, we need to do that.
This is like I almost never played Fortnite before, and I got on. And we should listen to it. It's like my son. Look at Weston. He sounds.
people coming up. They're on the left.
He's
He
young.
sounds so tiny.
How?
Doesn't have 8 kills. First it would be 16.
He's like a baby.
Hey, I got one. Okay, they're at this
17.
building.
Is this your only, or
Yeah,
have you
he's
done it
like,
before?
Let's go.
No, well, this is the very first time I'd ever done it.
Hey,
Like, gotten
they're at this
a
building.
and
Top
it
of the
like
building.
it's me and Kathy and Trenton and Weston all in a like a squad together.
You are like locked
Oh,
in,
I'm shooting
bro.
him, but my gun is only a blue.
Ooh, let's get out of here.
And Wes is playing on his
Enemy, get
Switch.
him.
That's why he's looking
job.
down, and I'm playing on the
There's one more.
computer.
There's one more in there though.
If we kill this, if you kill that other person, there's victory royale.
Yeah, I think we had one more.
Quick scope him.
You look at you.
Knocked him down.
Go kill him.
Yeah, I knocked him.
There's the wall.
Oh, we eliminated
That's
him.
it. Five people left. There's one more.
Okay, get the last guy. I don't think I've seen this.
See him.
Where is he?
Got him. Got him 1 hit.
Oh yeah! What a perfect way to end it. Victor and our entire team.
We're about to get down. Get down.
Okay, how many kills did we have? How many kills did we have? All right, can
What
I
a
see
great
the,
family
match
moment,
stats?
right?
Okay,
No,
match
I got
stats.
10 kills.
I got 12 kills.
It's like the children got 22 kills between them, and
I
the adults got 2.
I got 1 assist.
They carried the team.
Absolutely, they did.
Oh my
You know,
God.
like how old was he now? Like, you know, how old was he there? 8.
All this on the Double Drop Down Network. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
You can join
These
in too.
memories.
It's been a vibe. Such a freaking awesome like way of navigating our lives and in the last like it was 6 years ago that the first stream actually hit.
Okay.
It was right at during COVID 2019.
Oh,
And
man.
then we started to jack around with it.
Yeah.
It was about 5 years, and now here we are, 100
Wow.
episodes on Twitch,
Yeah.
hanging out with y'all. We really appreciate it. It's been such a fun journey. Like I would say, now that we've got to this point in our Twitch, what's next, Ryan? What are we thinking? Like we're gonna keep going with this, right? There's no.
No, yeah. I mean, I feel like we've gotten the good stride. Like, I like the idea of picking one topic and researching that beforehand and having sort of a deep dive on it. I feel like that's a good, you know, fun to talk about. I like the idea of news because I'm always like in with news, and you know, we're always consuming that and thinking about it and talking about it, so it makes it good. I would say a big part of like, you know, what we've been trying lately is just like expanding that into digital shorts,
Yep.
which is also just fun because I feel like, it's like lower effort. You know, you're just sort of like, hey, I have an idea for a thing, and I just talk about it for 90 seconds or something like that. And, you know, I don't watch a lot of short form video, but like, you know, that is where the people are at. And, you know, that's what it is.
I feel like we're going to, it expands our ability to give our insights about the things we talk about on the podcast. That's what's in about an hour. So we can throw a 90-second. I feel like I got to show him the rig that I built, Ryan.
Oh,
Can I
man.
show it? Can
Of
I show
course,
it?
Of course you can. So, you know, naturally, Adam, of course, unplugged me as opposed to himself every time. So, you know, Adam was like, well, if we're doing YouTube shorts, then I got to do this thing. It just feels like Adam, Jesus Christ, this thing.
I'm excessive. I'm very excessive. Look at this thing.
Another 20K. Like, it's so great.
Look
So
at double drop down stuff on it.
guys, you know, it's double drop down branded, so that's
This is not
pretty
20K.
cool.
this is probably like 200. Come on. now.
$200.
200 bucks.
Well, you had a lot of the stuff, right? It's
and
not
I
like you're
designed
buying
an
phone,
app for it.
and you. It's not like you had to buy a teleprompter app, but now you can look like straight into the screen and be able to do it. Tell us about your plans for using this thing. You said you're going to bring it everywhere. Like, let's make an action plan. What's the next place you're going to bring this?
That's a good question.
And not feel like a complete dumbass using that thing out in.
I
out in
feel
public.
that thing makes me look legit. I'll just
Okay,
walk in.
yeah,
So here's my
nice.
thing. I'm a Google reviewer. I figured I could take it into restaurants. I want to take it outside. That was my thing.
Yeah.
Heather actually went with me, and I was like, "Hey, you should do this video." And she's like, "I don't know." And then when she went, she's like, "That was hella fun. I want to do
Nice.
that." So I think we're gonna take it on location. My point was, I always wanted to do the show on location.
Yeah.
I've always said like,
Adam
let's
is
go to
always
bars.
he's been harping on this for like literally years at this point.
So that was my thing. And so I just, okay, here's where I go down the rabbit hole. This is probably a little bit of my ADHD is I was like, I want to do this like
this thing, and I was like, all right, I gotta lock in and make it so I could grab it and have every little thing. It has microphones, has lights, it has the little teleprompter if I need it. And then, of course, I went and then designed a teleprompter for it, like in vibe coding for over 24 literal hours of vibe coding, and I made a teleprompter.
You know what? We were talking about this a little bit at the beginning of the show. It is like the good thing about like Adam and I working together as a thing is that like we don't have the same sort of way that we think about, projects or ideas about things, and that's good because you don't want two people who have like the same sort of thing. You're stepping in on each other's toes, you're like trying to do the same thing, you're like sort of have the same like thought process about it maybe, and that wouldn't be good. Like we have a goal that we're trying to get towards, right, which is like making more videos and doing stuff. Adam on one side went, okay, this is great. I want to like build an infrastructure thing so that I can scale this to a larger like thing. I can take it. I can, make this something that is my own customizable thing with like the app and whatever. And I was more like, and I'm like usually on the side of like, I'm just going to do a bunch of things and I'll figure it out as I'm doing it. And I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do that. And so like Adam built that whole thing and has this amazing thing to like go out into the thing, and I did more like experimental stuff, just sort of throwing together what I had. So like I've done more of like our YouTube shorts from it and like a wider variety, but like Adam is probably like set up to do this like more better like in the future, right? And Adam is going with like the like I'm going to like script it out, and I'm going to have like a script that I read dramatically into the thing. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to like, have little bullet points and wing it. Right. And so I feel like that's good because like there are some people who want like more of a scripted thing and like want, like no mess ups and, like a solid, straightforward, like read through of something. And then you're just like, oh, or there's this other one where it's, it's more just sort of off the cuff. Right. And I feel like that's good. Like we want different things, different perspectives on the show. So like, I feel like even just this particular effort that we are doing with these YouTube shorts and, Instagram reels has really shown like how we attack problems and how that's better for the show because it's like this diversity of creation.
I love that about you, Ryan. And I love that we're at episode 100.
Right.
Let's... The community wants Drawful, but
yeah,
I just gotta say thank you.
Oh, 100, man.
100. Great. Good job, brother. All right, we did the thing. All right, everyone, get your phones out. Jackbox TV, we gotta end this baby with the right kind of vibe here. We're gonna get in that other room.
All right.
Sorry.
Every time.
All right, you're gonna unplug it anyway. So
all right. So yeah, I'll see you in there in a minute. Yeah. So I would say the thing with YouTube shorts. So I don't know if you knew this, like I had a video go viral, like, 14 years ago at this point on YouTube. And so at some point I became very obsessed with making videos and seeing how they go and like frantically, refreshing the YouTube studio page to see how many views it got. And all of that. I feel like I'm trying to, now that I'm making YouTube shorts, not go into that. Like I will post it and sort of check on it at about an hour to see how it's doing. And then I'm like, okay, if it seems like it's doing good, then I will check it a few more times. If it seems like it's not doing great or it's just sort of doing average, then I sort of try to forget about it. But man, it can be one of those things where you're like, it's like a gamble every time. Like the gambling side of me kicks in that I'm not a big gambler, but like having something where you're like, okay, I think this is cool. Does everybody else think it's cool? And you throw it out into the universe and then you're like, what you don't want to do, which I feel like sometimes I do is like, what is your self-worth? Your self-worth is not how many views you get or how many comments you get or how many hearts. Like it has to be wider than that.
And I appreciate that, Ryan. And it's just, we're going to put out content. Hopefully you enjoy it. And you don't always have to be at the show, but you should always. Everyone that's in the community today, thank you. You were what have driven us up to this point. But guess what? We are going to reward you with some amazing Drawful. So you can see where our little 3D print is as Ryan walks into the room. And then we will start to get into the show. All right, Ryan, get in here, and we will be on Jackbox TV, everyone. Jackbox TV, and let's get to it. We're going to play Drawful Animate tonight.
yeah.
Do I have to do something special?
Drawful anime, definitely the go-to.
It is. It has become the go-to. Got some epic wins lately too.
I feel like Stealth Mouse has been
Just been killing it.
killing.
Oh, how did I get first in on this? Oh, you know what? I didn't switch it over here. There we go. That was my bad. Sorry, y'all. That's how I got in first.
Okay.
You didn't even get to see the fun 3D printing. That's another thing about the show is we've been so loose that it's like little fun problems with clicking buttons. Whatever. It's a thing. Oh my god, we got 4 people in so far.
Okay.
I love it. Stealthy. Gotta get in. Oh wait, I guess I could have been starting to draw my image.
There's no eraser.
Yes, we know.
I was just reading it through the thing.
No, I mean like, I was talking to the instructions. Thanks for not giving us that damn eraser.
Yeah.
Wait, episodes menu? What's episodes? We have 6 people in for this one. I love it. Oh, good one, Shifty. Loving that. I think this is going to give us one solid game of Drawful, right?
Yeah. Is everybody in? Should I
Nope.
stop doing this?
Nope, everyone's drawing. Because I screwed up earlier and I didn't swap it over to the right camera. Nobody got to see the fun 3D printing. We got Becky in. Becky, again, thank you for the cake tonight. Ryan and I are
Yeah.
super hyped on that cake.
Totally.
It was good. That was a fun moment too. We got a little candles and everything.
Yeah.
The lady was really nice that dropped it off too. So that was awesome. We appreciate you. We got Stealth Mouse. Oh, she has a little party hat on. I'm loving it. Man, that cake though, eating that, it's got my energy up.
Yeah.
I gotta wake up in like what 4 or 5 hours.
Stay up.
No. No, I need to sleep at least a minute of sleep.
Stop being a wimp.
All right, well, here we go. We're starting it out, for folks.
All right. This is the crew.
We got the crew with us tonight.
Hi, it's Drawful Animate. Double the frames and bubble the trun, trouble the fun, double the double the fun, double the fun.
Double!
It's gonna be one
Wow,
round,
it's
so
a
make it
sign.
count. Let's party.
Hell yeah.
Check your device for the title of your animation. It might be something unusual, like Humid Bones or Angel in the Outhouse. Your job is to draw an animation that fits your prompt. You'll get points for each player that guesses your prompt correctly. You've got this, probably.
Ooh. Oof. This one's a hard one tonight. Are you on this? Okay, you are. Oh man. Oh god. Draw, fully animate.
You know what this song almost reminds me of? Do you remember the the Disney musical parade? God, it's killing me. What's like there was like a parade that they used to do at Disneyland.
We're halfway
And it
through.
would have,
It's
like,
a great
this,
time to hop on over to that second frame.
Digital sound music. So someone will think of it, but I can't remember the name of it. The Electric Light Orchestra Parade. That was it.
You're much more a Disney person than most.
You know what? It's like when the Patreon blows up and we just have money to spend. I'm like taking Adam to Disney.
I've been there.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought you had never
I've been to both now.
Oh, nice.
Land and world.
What did you think?
I thought I was terrified that I was going to lose my children. I put them in neon orange shirts
Yeah.
so I would not lose them. No, it was fine. It was good. I went on a couple rides, and it was a good experience. I went to Legoland as well, and I like Disneyland probably better.
Yeah, of
You're
course.
almost out of time.
Legoland.
You're almost out of almonds.
It was good.
We should be
Legoland
good
was
for a
cool.
couple more
We were
weeks,
in the
though.
Legos big time back in the day.
That's true. Oh crap! I have 2 frames.
Yeah, you have to do the 2 frames, and yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's like, "Come on, Ryan, stop talking about Disneyland."
I know.
So I went to Disney
Oh.
World.
What?
You have 4 seconds. 4 seconds. 2, 1.
Animation's complete. Let's see what we've got.
I spent far too much time on my first one.
Yeah, you did. I
Think about what
believe this is
animation
yours.
It
and
is.
write it on your device.
I had 3 seconds to do the second drawing. I completely forgot what.
You thought it was.
I was
drop
like
one.
adding extra things to the first drawing and then went, oh, right, I have 10 seconds. Mostly just look at the first drawing.
Submit a title, or I'm gonna be a tiny bit grumpy.
Ooh.
Okay, which of these do you think originally inspired the animation? Boy, I am psyched for these reveals.
Hells yeah.
Ah, jeez, come on. Anonymous.
Oh,
good
yeah,
job,
boy.
Good job, good job.
It's this one, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Should have double drop down on that one. I know how to get them.
See, I feel like it really helped because the color that I had was the glove color. So like it looked like they have gloves on, and I was like, oh, right, because they're tossing it around, you know.
I don't know.
Compose
Alright.
your title.
Okay, so this must be disturbed.
Stop, just put your mom. That always wins.
That always wins. All right. Your mom.
One of these is right.
Oh my goodness.
That's fun.
Oh my god, I don't know which one it is.
Let's go. Vote.
feel like
I don't think I picked the right one.
I can't double drop down. Ah! Good one, Tri-Enemy.
Yeah, yo.
It was too exactly describing it, and I should have known better. Thank you.
Oh, good one. You got everybody.
I did.
Wow, great job.
Is it Sweet Jerome? Oh my God, that was my second choice.
I don't know who that is.
Sweet Jerome, baby.
Man,
I'll take it.
You got to be in first at this point.
I will take it. Thank you all.
That was crushing it. Great job. Wow.
Tap your fingers on the keyboard to
I
create a
put in
title.
summoning and they said it was too close. I could see that.
When you have to make your animation slower or faster. God, this one's so bad. In your head, it's so amazing. On actual drawing, terrible. But it shows that you could still make a something with
Okay,
terrible
you're making me
drawings.
nervous. Please submit something.
It reminds me of the cave drawings, is what this
Oh,
is,
yeah,
you know?
right?
We have to tell our story. But all I could do is carve into rock.
Right. Ooh. All
On
right.
to ... vote! Exclamation point.
Okay, let's see.
The dog is creeping me
Please
out.
vote.
Too many legs.
Okay, who picked what?
All right,
Okay,
nice.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh no!
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
You needed that, boy.
I needed it.
Nobody got it.
Oh, nobody got it. Good one. All right. I didn't know what to pick.
I know it was hard. They should have made it smaller. It was Ancient Forbidden Seltzer, y'all.
Oh, see, I almost did that.
All right, that
Well,
put
good
people
news.
back in.
Okay.
They're in on it. You had to get some goodness on that.
Yeah.
It's forbidden. You touched the forbidden. Oh, you took the lead with that.
$500 in the lead.
I'll let this next animation speak for itself.
I'm loving it.
Just a friendly reminder to submit a title.
Okay, everybody's in.
It's decision time.
Oh man. Sure. Oh man, I regret
You
my
can't.
choices.
You can't.
Don't
I've
vote for
done
yourself,
that
just pick
before.
something.
I regret my choices. Maybe I don't. Maybe
Okay,
I
who
don't.
voted for what?
We'll see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like that wasn't me at least.
I'm not regretting. Oh wait, maybe I'm regretting. Come on, baby.
Thanks, Adam.
Ah!
Double the
I
points.
gave you.
too.
There's more. It definitely looks like people are working.
Like with their hands.
Yeah,
right?
it
You
was
know?
definitely
Yeah.
describing it. I'll take this one. Yeah.
Oh, dang! Nobody got it.
The Scorpion chorus. Oh, it's Scorpions. So Scorpions.
Oh, because the tail. The tail.
Oh my
comes
God, I
up.
see it now in their
this is the
hands.
best.
Oh,
Man.
I hate when
Why
you see it
couldn't
at
I?
the
Yeah,
last
why
second.
Why couldn't I see that? That was a good drawing. I'm still only 500 up on you. We both need it.
I know.
This is the part of the drawing game where you do writing.
Yeah, we do.
Type now.
Okay.
Lag is killing me.
Believe me when I say it's time to vote.
Oh wow. If I had not double drop downed on you, I'd be tired.
Friendly. Who got duped?
Shit.
Yeah, thanks all. I'm sure this is.
Is it?
No. Dang it. Good job, Shifty. I almost put dentures. I thought it was. Dang.
Oh, dang, got it.
Dang. Good one. And the double.
You needed that. Take it.
Ooh, $2,000. What did I get? Oh, I got one. All right.
Damn it. You're giving it to him.
you're feeding Ryan.
He's going to think
Okay,
he's like an
let's
actual
animate.
artist or something.
It's more about doing the guesses than it is about drawing your thing or like
Yeah,
doing the
fair enough.
answers.
Pull it together and write something. I'm talking to you, George Saunders. We need more from you, you genius.
Anonymous. 2 seconds.
Thank you.
Okay.
The right answer is in here somewhere. Time to vote.
Man, there's some good ones in this.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta pick something.
The has got me. That's the one
I
that
can't
I'm
wait
not
to see what
sure.
happens.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
Yes, I got some points.
Yep.
Damn it.
Ooh,
Good.
Shifty, clean it up.
He did. Cause the 10, right?
The 10. This is it. Yeah. He sees like number 10, and he's like, ugh, 10.
Damn it! You had to give it to this punk.
On the 100th episode, even.
Yeah.
That's worth even more, I would say.
No, don't give him that credit, sir.
Ooh, nice.
Goes to the yeah.
That's good. What? Do we have one more? One more?
That was it.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? You want to do one more
I could do one more.
on the 100th episode?
On the 100th episode?
It's up to you. Let us know.
We'll
do
just
one-
start it. Just start it.
We're
See if
gonna do one
anybody,
more.
you know, start it.
Oh, how do I start? Oh, I have to hit a button. You need to destroy Ryan. Yeah, we do. How do I do anything with this? Okay, resume.
They still had the fart noise there. They couldn't. They had to leave in one fart noise.
Wait, how do I start it?
Same players?
Yeah, but how do I
players?
select it?
I don't know.
It's not letting me do anything.
Just back out of this whole thing.
Fine. We're gonna have to redo our emoji things.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, quick ones. We'll do quick ones.
Lag
the
is bad. All right, we may have to call it.
All right, that's okay.
It
Yeah,
has been a
somebody
fun
would-
100th episode.
It
I gotta
has
say
been,
that.
Yes.
It-
Very different than our normal show, but good. It's like you need reflection time to think about it. And I appreciate everyone letting us be, a little navel gazing, self-indulgent for the show.
Well, I mean, I think after 100 episodes, it was like a almost let's see where we've gone to actually, because I think there has been moments where we've just been part of it. It's like a kid is that you're always around, that you
Right.
just see him grow.
Yeah.
And you never look back.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like going through the archive and finding all of that stuff was like fun to revisit. It makes me think about like we have tried lots of different things throughout this entire show. Like it has evolved quite a bit over the years, and I feel like it's getting into a good place.
And we will continue
And we'll
to evolve.
continue. Yeah,
And
exactly.
It came from very humble roots where we might be 3D printing something all day
Ooh.
to now just being able to have a vibe. And I love the idea of Jackbox. And, one of the things that I really appreciate is we should get back into maybe like one of those games where people can do the selection of like where you're going. I really love that.
Totally.
That was amazing. And thank you, Mike Azul. Looking forward for another 100. Yes, we're gonna keep it going. And I don't know. Maybe we're gonna just lock into a little bit more of that like podcast vibe and getting that news in. We have said multiple times we wanted more guests.
Yeah, that's true. And like now I feel like we could do something where we have like a topic and be like, bam, have somebody come in who could talk about that type of topic and do 20 minutes, just do a short 20-minute interview. And then, maybe that's at the end of the topic. Maybe that's at the beginning. And then basically you're like, oh my God, it's not only are we bringing in new people and talking with them and getting that diverse perspective, but like, it's just an extra thing for people to like absorb about the topic, which is always cool.
So community, help us.
Yeah.
Know what those topics are.
Or if you have somebody or you yourself want to be on a show and you're like, dang, I know this one particular thing that would be like amazing to talk about for a while. Like, do not be shy about that. Or if there's people that that you think would be interesting on the show, like there are definitely people in my life, like my work and everything, who are super into AI and super into technology and super into creativity. And I think if I was like, hey, come on the show for 20 minutes, they'd be down for it.
I think it would be 20K guest spot area. Totally. Man, I've been thinking about, like, I got to be honest with you.
We need a green room.
I had been thinking about this for a while, and it's just like,
it's right there.
Yeah, go into this little closet right here. No, like if we had a place that was not in my house. And it would be cool, like a place of business, and you would have, like, I always had this thing, like if it was on a main street, like the Union Street, and when the Chili Festival, we would come out and do streams the whole time. Like, I would love that. Ryan would hate it.
Anxiety to think about even doing that.
Oh my God,
I would do it for you.
I would be jumping out and be like, hey, you want to
oh
come
my
and talk
God.
with the stream? And
And I'd
Ryan would be like, oh my God,
dying.
please do not do
yeah.
this. I don't know. I've given up on my shyness and my care of anything.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a crap. That's how I think about it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we really appreciate everyone hanging out with us all the way to the end of this evening. I know it was special for us to get to this moment, and we really appreciate you. So I guess we could just end the night with some slaps, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll just slap it in.
Should we?
Into the,
Should
okay,
we?
let's
We
do
got to
it.
give you a
Yeah,
slap,
do it.
right? If you came to this point, I feel like you deserve a slap.
This is not planned at all.
This was not planned.
It was just coming on the slap.
100 slaps.
100 slaps. One slap to end the 100th episode.
All right, one slap. Who's going first?
You take off that little ring.
This is rubber, just like you said.
see,
But
I
I'm gonna
ain't
do it
got
with
one,
this
I ain't
hand
got
right
one.
here. Are we ready for this?
Okay,
All right. Ready?
Yep, it's a good one.
100 episode,
100
everyone.
episode.
We love you.
100 more
Good
coming
see ya.
up.
All right.
Good night.
Till next time.
We'll see ya.